after today were Hindus. They were ordinary Hindus, viewers. There were individuals who have been living in the UK trying to make ends meet, trying to establish themselves as immigrants in a country where we know that it's not easy to assimilate. But it was not, viewers, the whites, but it was Islamists who set upon them, seeing them as a threat. You all know, viewers, that Indians as a community, as a whole, do very well wherever they go. But viewers, in Birmingham, a set of Islamists drawn from diverse backgrounds, Egyptian, Syrian, Pakistanis, saw the local Indian community as a threat. And to cover their actions, they used their ecosystem to suggest that they were very upset because the specifically local Hindu community were some new emigres that had come from India that were militating against Muslims and were the product, the indoctrinated product of a muscular Hindutva, saffron narrative. Viewers, this is palpably a calumny. Viewers, that narrative was a mischievous one, and Times now has dug out new evidence that proves this very, very clearly. The unseen videos with Times now show how targets were marked on the backs of Hindus and their religious symbols to unleash unprecedented fear. This is Birmingham, viewers. This is Birmingham. Watch carefully. You will not see a single slightest sign of provocation, and yet the unsuspecting temple goers in Durga Bhavan Center find themselves at the receiving end of unbridled, horrid and frankly disgusting hate rants. Hate rants, viewers. I want you to listen to a sample of it.
You pissed and keep. You dirty pissed and keep. This ain't Leicester, you cuz. This is Brompton. Hiding. You dirty pissed and keep. Go eat some cow. Hey, you look shook. You look shook. Hey, you look shook. Hey, hey, go drink some cow. Hey, put that beef. Look at that piss drinking. Thank you. Back, please. Thank you. Back. Move back. Move back. Keep You sound sexy when you scream. Look at him helping the piss drinking.
Viewers, filthy, absolutely filthy, racist and most importantly sectarian language. This is the kind of invective Hindus in the UK were subjected to. Let it sink in. Let the words, viewers, sink in tonight. Despite being at the receiving end of such venom, there are those in our country and an ecosystem internationally that still villainizes the victims. Before we move on, listen to the masked mob spewing hate once again. Listen to this.
You pissed and kid. You dirty pissed and kid.
Viewers, it's revolting. Let me play another video again from Birmingham, where even young girls peacefully performing Garba were abused. Watch this.
Check these Cheeros out. I think it's in India. It's almost like they're probably taking the piss and decided to do it in front of the mosque.
Viewers, despite mounting evidence of how Hindus were the ones persecuted, there are certain publications in the United Kingdom that are helping those who are trying to build a narrative that paints Hindus as the perpetrators. And yesterday, Hindus based in the UK were forced to come out to protest this biased coverage. Viewers, watch this.
We are standing here in protest against biased journalism of UK newspapers and media houses like Guardian and BBC. They call us Hindu extremists. Hindus are victims of terrorism. Hindus are victims of attacks.
Joshi Krishna, namaste. I'm here at the Guardian offices protesting because they've been so anti-Hindu, it's been unfair. They're not neutral, they're very biased in their reporting. Hindus are a very peaceful community and they're constantly being oppressed, but they're being demonized and wrongly portrayed in the Guardian. The editor is responsible for causing division, hate and violence and must be accountable.
They tell us we are demons, we are neo-Nazis, we are fascists, we are none of those. We are peaceful people, we are contributors to the British economy, we are not criminals. You can tally the prison statistics in UK. We have the least number of people in the prison and the highest number of taxpayers. We have assimilated well.
I'm appealing all the Hindus, all the Indians to stop subscribing Guardian, stop buying Guardian. No Guardian today onwards, no Guardian.
It's causing communal riots. Guardian is causing communal tensions.
The reason we are protesting here today is the false narrative Guardian is using towards the Hindu community. Guardian covered during Prime Minister Modi's visit calling us the Hindu Taliban, and I take a very serious offense of calling me a Taliban because I do not look like a Taliban and I'm not a Taliban.
As a last resort, Hindus in the UK are now protesting on the streets, writing to members of parliament, hoping that they will be heard, and in some quarters their pleas are resonating. UK MP Teresa Villiers became the second parliamentarian to raise Hindus' plight in parliament, viewers, in just a matter of a few days.
We have an urgent debate on Hindu-phobic hate crime. Recent days have seen a number of appalling acts of intimidation and harassment directed against the Hindu community, including a violent mob targeting a temple and tearing down a flag with spiritual significance. And I think it is important that these disgraceful episodes are discussed by this Parliament.
Viewers, let's ask some basic questions this evening. Let's open this up. Let's ask those who have been trying to suggest that this is all a backlash to Hindutva and other forms of anarchism, saffron, allegedly saffron anarchism in this country. So let's ask this: why are they deliberately making this a Hindu-Muslim issue when they all know that a large number of those, the hate mongers that you've just heard, are Egyptians, Syrians and other Middle Eastern nationalities that are saying all these words. We have some of those individuals already on camera, and they are from not even the subcontinent, viewers. So why is this happening? I fail to understand why someone in Syria or Egypt would be motivated by Hindutva, etc. in our country, viewers. I just don't understand this line that is being sought to be, this link that is sought to be drawn. And I want to open this up, and I want to ask Disha Solanki, a concerned local citizen from Leicester, and Miss Manu Khajur, Indian citizen based in the UK, Khajuria rather, Indian citizen based in UK since the last 12 years. Now, Ms. Khajuria, let me begin with you first. There is this narrative that is being peddled aggressively in many quarters. The ecosystem here in India has very quickly adopted it to lay the blame on the doorstep of the victims. They're villainizing the victims. What do you make of this, Ms. Khajuria?
Rahulji, I think you have very clearly pointed out that there is an ecosystem, and in England, amongst the few lone voices, we had an article by the chief political commentator, writer of The Spiked, Brendan O'Neill, who says exactly the same thing and calls out the leftist media, especially BBC, Guardian, and a few others who have indulged in dog whistling and probably use the same narrative being peddled by the Islamists to justify their acts of violence and vandalism against the very peaceful British Hindu community here in the UK. So there is a certain ecosystem, and the claims that there is some sort of, the imagined claims of a Hindutva, of extremist Hindus being operating in UK have been denied by not only now by the police chief, the temporary police chief of Leicestershire Police, Rob Nixon, but even by the mayor, Sir Paul Robinson. He's also said that there is no such Hindutva extremist element operating in Leicester, and to somehow it speaks volumes that a few days back even BBC, which has a very openly anti-India and anti-Hindu stance, grudgingly admitting that there is no evidence of any such group of Hindu radicals operating in the UK, and all the crimes will show you that it's been a one-way crimes against only Hindus. There has been no counterattack. There are only Hindu homes that have been damaged, Hindu temples that have been attacked. There have only been Hindu individuals, 2 youth who have been stabbed, an elderly lady who has been punched on the face, the Hindu flag that's been destroyed and burnt. So everything is going, it's in one direction. It's only against the Hindu community who are peaceful, law-abiding and very successful in this country.
Now, many people are saying that a large number of the Indian community, Hindus specifically, are facing death threats. Can you confirm that, Ms. Khajuria? Is that a fact?
What I know for a fact, Rahul, is that there are Indian Hindu parents who are extremely worried to send their children to school. There are children in Leicester who have not attended school for days on end because they are facing harassment in school itself. I know of Hindu businesses who have not opened up, their usual hours because they are facing threats. We've had police tweeting about increased security anywhere near any Hindu temples or any Hindu property. And we have had the Metropolitan Police, the Hindu Association of the Metropolitan Police, come out with a video and a message to the Hindu community, to the diaspora, saying that, describing what a hate crime is and how to report that hate crime. This in itself is an evidence. And we've had, of course, let me add, we've had people and homes in Leicester removing their torans, their shubh labh, their ohms from their doors because there is a threat. This is how they had been marked and this is how they had been attacked. So there is undoubtedly an increasing amount of fear amongst the British Hindu diaspora here, especially considering that we have the Navratri and the Diwali celebrations coming in. Again, I'll point out that Leicester is where the largest Diwali celebration takes place outside India. It's also home to the second largest Hindu population in Europe.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Ravi Srivastava as well as Dishita Solanki. Ms. Solanki, let me ask you this first. A number of those who you see as part of this masked mob have turned out to be not even subcontinental Muslims. They are either Egyptian or Syrian. What is bringing them out?
When this was predominantly ignited about 2 weeks ago, there was a mass poster that was being published everywhere that they were asking for any Muslim. If you're a Muslim, then they were literally calling them out to come on the streets. Obviously, that would include Syrian, Egyptian, and the way they are wording it as well is so clever. They're not saying let's all Muslim go out on the street to attack the Hindus. They're using words like Muslim brothers, let's get together to help our other Muslim brothers and show them what's what. So they are positioning it in a way so they don't get attacked or fall into any kind of legal matters with the police. That's how the posters are being, and these posters are widely available. You just need to Google the right words and you'll be able to find them online anywhere.
Okay, Mr. Ravi Srivastava, a UK YouTuber named Muhammad Hijab has come across as the instigator-in-chief of these violent incidents in the UK. Now, this person is a British Egyptian who is seen terrorizing Hindus. Before this, he has been widely videographed terrorizing the Jewish community, saying that we are here to kill Jews. The fact that there is radicalization going on in the United Kingdom of certain youth there is a known fact. Shamima Begum traveled to Syria to join the Islamic State in 2015. Several other British-born Muslims have traveled to join and fight with the Islamic State. There are hundreds of examples. On the back of that, I want to ask you, are these people joining the ISIS or Egyptians or Syrians coming out to attack Hindus because of what is going on in India? Isn't this remarkably silly and an attempt to trivialize this whole or perhaps even completely obfuscate the facts to suit a political narrative?
No, I think this calls for an introspection as far as we Indians are concerned. What are we doing? How are we dealing with the minorities? How come this Ajan, Hijab, Halal, Madarsa, that bulldozer politics and all, what we are, there has to be some kind of a backlash. What happened to the Nupur Sharma statement on a TV channel? How it was reacted in the Islamic countries? They went on to even boycotting the Indian product, and the government had to kneel down before them and say that we have suspended her. So what are we doing here? The kind of treatment we are giving to our minorities here, probably they are being responded like that over there. There again, my question here is that if it is so that the Indians are being, the Hindus are being persecuted there, why our Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, cannot amend the CAA and see that Hindus persecuted in UK will also be added along with the Pakistanis, Bangladeshis and other countries?
Let's not trivialize the debate. What
trivialize?
One second.
This
is
what exactly I am asking. What are
if I have your permission,
here?
can I ask you a counter question, sir?
Please.
The terrorists responsible for the Pulwama attacks, you might remember those attacks. More than 40 Indian soldiers, troops were killed. Use the same phraseology, cow piss drinkers, to gun for Hindus. Are we saying that the Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is based in Pakistan, which has been in action against India for decades altogether, is also attacking India because it has been affronted by Hindutva, or the Lashkar-e-Toiba, which is run by Hafiz Saeed, or for that matter, the Hizbul Mujahideen? Are they all, sir, militating against Hindutva? Will you justify this terrorism?
I'm not.
But you are. You are.
I'm not saying.
If ISIS sympathizer, what is the difference between an ISIS sympathizer
I'm saying,
and a Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist? Tell me.
I'm saying.
No, is there a difference?
What kind of slogans are we being?
Sir, I'm asking you, is there a difference between an ISIS terrorist? No, 1 second. Tomorrow you will say, tomorrow you will say, by your logic, Raviji, by your logic, tomorrow you will say that the Lashkar-e-Toiba attacks India because it's a backlash against Hindutva. You will give the Lashkar-e-Toiba, in fact, a alibi. Is that what we are doing here, Ravi Srivastava ji?
You can presume anything. I will never support any terrorist organization.
So what do you think these are?
My point is very
No, when someone shows up, so you are supporting these terrorists.
Why the Hindu Muslim?
You are, what is your, why are you defending the actions of, sir, why are you defending the actions of an Egyptian called Hijab Muhammad? Tell me, he's an Egyptian, he is a certified hate monger. I'll play out his videos for you. Why are you today rationalizing what he is doing?
I am not saying that what he is doing is correct. He is a terrorist and one.
You are justifying it. You are creating a justification. Am I wrong?
Another thing. What our Indian embassy is doing in UK?
Sir,
Sir,
don't try to divert attention. I am asking you a specific question. It is because of the Indian government's intervention that British MPs are today standing up in their own parliament. 1 second. Even British MPs, not one but two, in a House of Parliament, and I'll show you those pictures, have discussed this. And what are they saying? They are saying that Hindu-phobic mobs are attacking hapless Hindus. They are not sitting like you, sir, and saying, oh, because what is happening in India, purportedly, is the reason. I mean, here you have British members of parliament who are sworn to tell the truth to their own public. Why are they siding with the Hindu community?
We can only thank them. It is not that it is happening there only. What is happening in US?
So,
you watch it. There also similar things. You will see that similar things will crop up in US also.
Okay.
Because the people are doing it.
Right.
All those saffron flag bearers, they are trying to create the unrest everywhere.
Okay. Now,
And
viewers, let me show you young girls celebrating Garba. These are not Hindutva activists. Let's show that video of young girls who are dancing the Garba. This is Navratras. They have begun. Nizam bhai, let's play out those visuals. There they are. Now, viewers, these are young women. They are not your muscular, recently landed, indoctrinated, fascist Hindus. Even they, viewers, are not being spared, and you have people like Ravi Srivastava and I'm sure Majid Hydari, etc., who are coming out and rationalizing this. It is shocking, viewers, and let me tell you, radicalization is not new in the UK. In 2007 and even before that, there have been train bombings. There was a Glasgow attack. Now you say there was Hindutva also in Scotland. You will confuse the kilts they wear with the flapping shorts of the RSS. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. It is silly. It is to trivialize. Ratan Sharda, how do you respond to the likes of Ravi Srivastava? And I'll bring in Majid Hydari and Ehtesham Saab.
Well, Rahul, first of all, thank you for very comprehensive coverage of the last 3 weeks of violence against Hindus. And I don't think I even need to respond to very low-life comments of Ravi Srivastava, who had no words when the minorities were persecuted, killed, removed, raped, converted in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, where the population went from large numbers to smallest, minuscule minority. He doesn't remember that in Nigeria, when girls are picked up for being educated in schools, raped or sold off or killed, he never spoke. He doesn't maybe he doesn't even know about it. He may not know that in Kenya, Muslims have attacked others continuously. There is also RSS. In Europe and Sweden and all other countries in Europe, the non-Muslims are attacked. That is also because of RSS. Last hundreds of years of violence against non-believers, that is also due to RSS. So these kind of people don't deserve any answer. My larger question is, what is happening is, we have to understand, you normalize the violence against Hindus first by creating Hinduphobia, Hindumesia. Then when they are attacked, you say, I am being attacked. And to give an example how important Hindu community is understood in UK, any restaurant in Europe and in UK or Europe is called Indian restaurant, the owners are Pakistanis or Bangladeshis, because they know if it is called Pakistani or Bangladeshi restaurant, it will not run. When there is success, it is called Asian success, and we lap it up because actually success is always of the Hindu or Indian citizen there, not of a Pakistani or Bangladeshi, etc. The way we have been asked to remove the torrents, and the people are scared of now cancelling, they want to cancel the Navratri, it reminds me very eerily like Jews were blackened, they were identified, and then there was a Holocaust. So these people are getting ready to have a Holocaust of Hindus while it is a Christian country. So using that same democratic norms, using the same facilities, they are trying to persecute and remove the Hindus from that particular place. And also remember, it is not just Hindus, it is same poison against Jews also. So this is Islamists versus non-Islamists, it is believers versus non-believers. Till we understand this, all this kind of theorizing, whataboutery is only adding insult to injury. And to come further, if you know how they were targeted continuously, and he says now in 1992 when there was a Babri destruction, for more than 40 temples were destroyed, arson in UK. What had UK Hindus to do with that? We have no answer, because this is blind hate of kafirs, blind hate for non-believers. Now if these people, if it's a Syrian or Egyptians, their problem is Israel. So for them, Jews or white Christians, what about the sex grooming of the girls? Have you forgotten the case when 5 Pakistanis are held, arrested, accused and convicted for sex grooming of hundreds of white girls? Are we, you to think that is because of RSS? So these people who come with the Hindu hate with an agenda on the TV screens, they expose themselves very well. And I would say please beware, because today's Hindus, tomorrow it will be Jews or non-believers, and that will be the end of UK.
Harvested.
Yes,
harvested. The seeds are sown in India.
Ravi Srivastava.
Crop that is harvested there.
are the biggest
Ravi Srivastava, tomorrow you will say, now 1 second viewers, 1 second, tomorrow you will say that the call for the referendum in Calgary in Canada for Khalistan was also instigated by Hindutva. This is what they'll say, viewers. Next. I mean, this is a shocking level to which villainization of the victims is going on even in our country. Now, I want to just quote viewers, Teresa Villiers, UK MP. What does she say? Can we have an urgent debate on Hindu-phobic hate crime? There you can see her standing up in British Parliament. Let me play that bite to you and I will go straight out to Majid Haidri and Ehtesham. Yes.
Tearing down we have an urgent debate on Hindu-phobic hate crime. Recent days have seen a number of appalling acts of intimidation and harassment directed against the Hindu community, including a violent mob targeting a temple and tearing down a flag with spiritual significance. And I think it is important that these disgraceful episodes are discussed by this Parliament.
Viewers, this is not Indian Parliament and this is not a BJP MP. This is Teresa Villiers in the British Parliament. And she has come out and called a spade a spade. She's not the first. Last week, another MP, another British MP, had made the same allegation demanding a debate. Now, Majid Haidri, I want to take you back to 1989-1990, where there was a catastrophic attack on Kashmiri Hindus. I want to ask you, sir. 1 second. I'm going to ask you, Majid Haidri. I'm going to ask you straightforward. Where was the RSS at that time in Srinagar? Where was Hindutva mobilization? That was straightforward bigotry of the type we are seeing today. Today, in Birmingham, in Leicester, and other pockets.
Well, Rahul Sahab, before responding to your query, let me say that facts are sacred. So I went through the Leicester Police website to know the reality, and the Leicester Police says There's nothing like Hindu versus Muslim in Leicester, one. And second, it says that initially of the 9 persons arrested, 6 bear Hindu names. Now I don't want to discuss Leicester.
Where is this? No, show me. No, one second. Majid Hydari, you've just lied on national TV. Show me.
No, I can tell you the names.
Show me.
I'll tell you the names.
Where are the Hindus?
If you want to debate,
where are the Hindus arrested?
No, the charge. I didn't say arrested. I said the charge. The first name is
listen, hang on.
Second name is
there have been 38 arrests. Excuse me. No.
Sanket Deshmukh, Rahul Mankama, and
excuse me,
Anand
sir. There have been 38 arrests. Now talk about facts. Arrests, and not one is a Hindu. Not one. How is that possible?
Sir, you just check it out.
And sir, are you today? Of course you will. Are you today telling me? No, 1 second.
Prove me wrong.
I have proven another fake news vendor here wrong on national TV. I will prove you wrong also. I will get out those details for exactly what Leicester police has said. In fact, the British MP who was here on the show last week, viewers, said that of the 38, this is
you are bringing
Bob. No. This is Bob. This is Bob Blackman. 1 second, Mr. Hydari. I'm not lying. I'll play out that soundbite again of Mr. Bob Blackman, who is an honourable member of Parliament, who stood up in Parliament and said exactly this. Either Bob Blackman is lying to his own Parliament, sir, or you are the paragon of truth. Unfortunately, sir, I will go by Mr. Blackman, and I want to go across. 1 minute, let's get this, because let's go to people who are living there and who are actually part of the diaspora there. Let me ask Miss Manu Khajuria. Miss Manu Khajuria, how many Hindus have been arrested?
Rahul, as far as I know of none. There have been 47 arrests, and as far as charges go, Majid Bhai is from the same state I am from, Jammu and Kashmir. He very well knows how the dog whistling takes place and how false allegations are placed. These very Islamist handles, especially Majid Freeman, who is known to be a supporter of Al-Qaeda and ISIS, has been alleging all sorts of things against Hindu youth, including a mosque being damaged, a Muslim girl being kidnapped by Hindu youths, and all these have been proven to be false. They have been proven to be just fake news with an intent to incite harm and violence against Hindus. So if he's talking about some charges, which I do not
actually know, the reason Majid Hydari is talking about these charges is to deflect attention from the only question that matters.
Okay, and let me come back to your question.
Yeah, let's ask. Why is VHP 1 second, sir, please, Majid Saab, 1 minute. Can I ask you the question, because you made
democracy? Why is VHP doing it ahead of his prospective visit to England? There is some conspiracy from the side of the Saffron forces.
Okay, Dishita wants to respond to you. Let me get in Dishita. Dishita wants to respond to you. Listen to her. Majid Hydari. I'm not going to get into this. I'm sitting here in India. I don't know. Dishita comes in. Yes.
It's actually really funny how every time this happens, for some reason, some political agenda or some political party, in this case BJP and RSS, is bought in. This is a completely homegrown problem in the UK, and until the government doesn't take ownership and recognizes it as a homegrown problem, which is Islamists against Hindus. This is not about a Hindu-Muslim problem. This needs to be addressed, and this has nothing to do. If you ask these people,
my honorable Prime Minister doesn't need this propaganda. He's a tall leader. He doesn't need this propaganda as his prospective visit.
Just let me finish.
Please stop this propaganda, please.
Let me finish.
We have high regards for very high regards for our college leader Modi ji.
The actual
propaganda, please.
What RSS is. If you ask them, they're like, what is RRRS? They have no clue. This is purely Islamist radicals that are attacking
He's not going to, you can keep trying to tell him he's not going to accept it. They don't even admit to what happened in 1989-90. Mr. Hashmi, very quickly coming to you. References by Indian politicians who have used slurs like Susu Potty Republic and Gaumutra shots to disparage Hindus seem to have enabled this racist and communal bigotry. Would you accept this statement at face value, yes or no?
Any kind of abusive language cannot be tolerated, either they are by Muslim community or Hindu community. And Rahul, with utmost respect and sincerity, I just want to say that these radicals like Ratan Sharda who is sitting here are now posing a global threat. Right. Islamophobia now appears to be a matter of public and foreign policy for India, Rahul.
Okay.
And the Indian High Commission in UK responded to the events in Leicester by specifically referring only to the worries of Hindu community there. What about Muslim community, Rahul? We all are suffering because of these kinds of radical groups. Muslims are also suffering, and my Hindu brothers and sisters are also suffering. I am very much concerned about my Hindu brothers and sisters abroad India.
Right.
But what we are doing here in India to protect them? This is the main question.
Okay, viewers, look, you can show them enough proof, you can bring people from the community onto the channel, you can show them the members of Parliament of UK and what they are saying, but there is an ecosystem that is invested in villainizing the victims. I leave it to your better judgment, viewers. My job is to bring the facts out and bring you the voices that are rationalizing this. And let me tell you, viewers, this is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. These are Islamists who are targeting Hindus. This ecosystem is trying to make it a Hindu-Muslim issue. What love do they have for Pakistanis? I don't know. Pakistanis need no excuse to target Indians, viewers. They've been doing it from the day Pakistan took birth. Egyptians, Syrians are in the mix. They are the primogenitors of these protests. How is Hindutva affecting them? There is no response here. They say, oh, look at the reaction to Nupur Sharma in UAE and Gulf. The UAE's foreign minister was standing with India's foreign minister and the French foreign minister just a few days ago, viewers. The French foreign minister, whose president, Emmanuel Macron, has actually urged his country to release the Prophet cartoons and has succeeded in doing so. So viewers, UAE, Gulf countries, they have no compunctions. Money is all that counts. Trade with France, so they've forgotten profit. Think about that, viewers. I need to move on. I need to move on. Viewers, your channel, your voice has won your trust because of its unimpeachable integrity. We wouldn't be the most watched, the most influential TV channel without your viewership. Times Now's team prides itself in being the most hardworking, the most conscientious, the most influenced and influential. Our only motivation is to put viewer and national interests first, and we have done so every single day of our existence. Unfortunately, our existence, our persistence has won us some enemies who want to discredit our fair name and who are allied with powerful forces to deal a mortal blow to us. We have gone through a torrid time in fighting the forces of manipulation, avarice, and most importantly, disinformation. Today, another channel that is trying desperately to redeem its tattered reputation is claiming that Times Now has manipulated ratings. It is relying on an enforcement directorate charge sheet that actually makes no such claim in black and white. The ED report or charge sheet, call it what you want to, cannot make this claim because the ED knows that it isn't born out of any facts. There are no facts. Only those with a malicious intent are trying to attribute motives to the open-ended words of the Enforcement Directorate. The ED, of course, viewers, is a central investigative agency and has insinuated itself into the TRP fixing case, even though it is primarily concerned with offences related to money laundering. Of course, the TRP fixing case is also being investigated by the Mumbai police, which makes the ED present that much more questionable. Anyway, back to the main story and the purpose of this broadcast. Over the next few hours, we at Times Now will set the record straight and call out the mischievous, slanderous, patently false propaganda that is being disseminated to malign your channel's image by misrepresenting the ED charge sheet. The first item, viewers, that we want to show you is our response to BARC, the channel rating agency, on a show cause issued to us on 13 December 2017. In its letter, BARC refers to two things: unusual spike in Times Now ratings and the existence of 3 videos. Times Now replied in detail to the BARC show cause. Viewers, here in my hand is the letter that we wrote back to BARC. We had appeared before BARC in person. We were not running away. We were not hiding. We went there. What did we tell them? Spike in ratings is not abnormal. As far as spike shown in ratings on certain days in certain markets is concerned, we've already clarified the reasons for the same in our meetings. Most of the purported abnormalities can be explained by the use of landing pages in such markets, and considering that landing pages are the major marketing boost, they cannot really be referred to be abnormal in the real sense, unquote. Viewers, this explanation was accepted by BARC. Here is that letter, the clean chit. We also talked about other issues. We said that the videos were malicious creation. About the videos, we have clarified that we neither have any knowledge nor any involvement in any such unscrupulous activity. In fact, this clearly points to the involvement of some malicious party entity who is trying to spoil our reputation. In the past, we have been the victim of reduced channel share and thinking that on ground panel tampering by certain players may be the reason for the same, have shared our concerns with your agency where the ratings have shown abnormally unprecedented spikes from time to time, unquote. We also went on to say that we request the details about the so-called videos that suggest that we have tampered. In our reply dated 29 November 2017, we have already clarified our position and stand on this issue in a very clear manner, and we had requested for details about the videos to initiate necessary action from our side to find out the parties involved. We reiterate that these videos are highly sensitive and confidential in nature, and we expect you to maintain a high amount of caution to maintain the confidentiality of the same under and any all circumstances. We also, viewers, in our reply called out the malicious act of certain organizations and broadcasters. We said to BARC, we wish to inform you that we have strong reasons to believe that this is nothing but a motivated and malicious act on certain organizations, broadcasters to tarnish and damage the image of our brand channel Times Now. At the cost of repetition, we once again confirm that Times Network and its management have not committed any acts which is covered in your show cause notice and will never do so now or in the future. We also said, viewers, we are ready to support BARC in any manner that you feel practical, that BARC feels practical, even financially, to engage specialists or to go to the appropriate authorities to investigate this matter so that we can reach to a step closer to end this malice rampantly spreading in our industry, which will ultimately dilute the importance of television ratings and BARC, and we are ready to stand with BARC in all such initiatives to fight and deal with this, unquote. BARC responded, viewers, precisely 17 days later, on December 26th. It issued a clean chit without prejudice to Times Now. Viewers, this is the same BARC that was headed by a CEO who is known to have shared an unhealthy relationship with the proprietor of Republic TV, Arnab Goswami. Remember, viewers, several dubious WhatsApp chats and emails between Goswami and Dasgupta point to a relationship that raises concerns about clear conflict of interest. More on that in just a few moments. But now let's look at the BARC clean chit to Times Now. BARC said, we are in receipt of the captioned letter. Nothing stated in the letter shall be deemed to have been admitted by BARC for want of specific traverse denial. 2. Without prejudice to the above, we have taken note of the contents of the caption letter dated December 13, 2017. In view of the explanation provided by you in the captioned interim reply, and the letter dated December 13, 2017, as well as the clarification provided by your representatives in respect of the abnormal increase in viewership raw data of the channel during the course of the meetings conducted on November 28, 2017, December 6, 2017, we have decided to not initiate any action against you under the show cause notice. Viewers, the clean chit therefore raises some important questions. And let me bring those questions to your attention. Why did BARC give a clean chit to Times Now if it was guilty of TRP fixing by buying viewers? And if it had a video? Why did BARC categorically rule out initiating action against Times Now? Would Times Now have offered to fund a probe against itself had it been guilty? Had we been guilty? We would have run away. We would have avoided response. Another channel, viewers, has been punished by BARC. Several others have been punished by BARC. What was so special about Times Now? Why didn't BARC take up Times Now's offer to pay for the services of a specialist to investigate the videos? If BARC was not convinced by our response, why didn't it investigate the videos itself? If videos were definitive proof of malfeasance, why didn't BARC punish Times Now? Why didn't BARC register a case against Times Now with appropriate authorities, like the police, as suggested by Times Now? We actually told BARC, go to the police. Did BARC not investigate, viewers? Here's the nub. Because videos were fabricated and maliciously designed to frame Times Now. Now remember, viewers, the timeline. Somewhere in July, Times Now raised this matter with BARC. BARC stonewalled Times Now about the fixing that was going on. It continuously stonewalled Times Now. Eventually, viewers, the media, the wider media, got to know this story. We spoke to certain news outlets and we told them, with the proof of our communication with BARC and the data, that there was something wrong. Right after that, viewers, BARC began to build for itself a contingency plan because it realized that its game was up. Viewers, there is a more specific question I want to ask. When Enforcement Directorate was aware of the BARC clean chit to Times Now, why didn't it mention it in its charge sheet? Why is the channel that is selectively highlighting facts not conducting a due diligence to ascertain what action BARC took against Times Now, which was zero? Is the channel maligning Times Now afraid to show the BARC clean chit to the public, to you? Why would a CEO of BARC, known to be close to the proprietor of Republic TV, give Times Now clean chit? And viewers, if there was nothing happening, if there was no TRP fixing, why did the government suspend the ratings for almost 2 years? Was the government also lying? What do these takeaways tell us, viewers? Here are the takeaways. That BARC run by Partho Dasgupta cleared Times Now of all accusations and charges. Number 2, the videos that were circulated were tampered and made by our competitors with an intent to blackmail and trap Times Now. Is this not a reasonable conclusion to draw? None of the videos were found to be genuine or authentic, and therefore the investigation against Times Now was closed. Republic TV is deliberately and selectively cherry-picking quotes from the ED report to malign Times Now and deflect attention from its own self. If, viewers, the Enforcement Directorate thinks we are guilty, why haven't we been booked? What is stopping the ED? But it must be remembered, viewers, the Mumbai police is still investigating Republic TV in connection with the TRP fixing case. Lastly, Partha Dasgupta and his impugned team are still under investigation by the Mumbai police. Just for the record, viewers, the entire scandal has arisen because of an inexplicable and very suspicious familiarity between Arnab Goswami and Partho Dasgupta, who was the ex-CEO of BARC, which is borne out through a series of exchanges. Why would the head of a channel and the head of a rating agency be on such familiar terms? Why would they be making pillow talk? Isn't this by itself a conflict of interest? Let me give you some instances, viewers. On August 13, 2019, Vikas Khanchandani, then CEO of Republic, writes to Romil Ramgadia, the number 2 in BARC, right under Partho Dasgupta, to say, sir, number 1 karwa dijiye. वैष्णो देवी माता के दर्शन करने हैं. Viewers, this is like a political party writing to the election commission and saying, थोड़े वोट्स बढ़ा दीजिए, चुनाव जितवा दीजिए, क्योंकि वैष्णो देवी के दर्शन करने हैं. Viewers, if this had come out in the public, in the political realm, there would have been madness. People would have investigated. Why hasn't the ED investigated this? Another instance, April 2, 2019, Roman Ramgadia, former BAC COO, writing to Partho Das Gupta, his boss, time now is down since we are controlling their Delhi landing more. Why? Why single out Times Now? Viewers, something wrong. August 29, 2017, Partho Das Gupta, former BAC CEO, to Romil Ramgadia, his deputy. The numbers look okay, na? Romil Ramgadia response, yes, Times Now and Republic gap has widened. They're so thrilled. What is the special interest that Partho Das Gupta is taking in making Republic number one? What is the connection? Instance 4, August 20, 2017, Partho Das Gupta, former BAC CEO, says, I have put Times Now under control on all days barring Tuesday. This should bring it below Republic TV. Not below India Today, not below CNN 18, not below X, Y or Z, just Republic TV viewers. Instance 5, June 18, 2017, as required, Times Now numbers were changed while Republic is kept the same. Republic is number one at an all India level. They are so invested in Republic, viewers. Why is the Enforcement Directorate not looking into this? Why in fact is the Enforcement Directorate looking into this matter at all? The source of the investigation is based on the Mumbai FIR, which makes no mention of any money laundering. The ED has a very specific brief. It goes into cases of money laundering. There's no money laundering here. So who is engaging Enforcement Directorate here, viewers? That's the fundamental questions. Viewers, all this meddling meant that Times Now was pushed to number 2 in the most important rating metrics, and genre manipulation was ongoing. After BAC resumed ratings, following the cleanup, Times Now has been number 1 throughout in the most influential rating TGs, target groups. Let's go to the pie graphic and let's go to the bar graphic, and I'll show you those numbers. Viewers, before BAC data was stopped, when the fixing was going on, Times Now was at 22%, Republic TV at 35%. Today, when the government asked BAC to release data, look to the right of your screens. Times Now is at 32, Republic is at 30, and viewers, India Today is at 10%. It's Times Now which is number 1. This, viewers, is the scenario. So if we were fixing, why weren't we number 1? Before the ratings were suspended, who fixes to bring yourself to number 2? These are logical questions. The Enforcement Directorate, of course, viewers, has zero logic. They run on agendas. I have said this, and that's why their conviction rate is abysmal, less than 1%. Viewers, I want to show you other cozy exchanges that have taken place between Partho Das Gupta and Arnab Goswami, which tell you, viewers, that there is something awful that is going on. As I call it, pillow talk about the media in general, other proprietors in general. Let's look at some of those. Let's press the continue button very quickly. Let's get on with it. Look at the conversations that are going on. This and next BAC board meeting is crucial, Arnab. You have too many enemies. Why is Partho Das Gupta, who is supposed to have neutrality, favoring Arnab so much? But I will be your friend, whichever role I'm in. He also goes and asks Arnab to get him a job in the PMO. And Arnab Goswami says, yes, don't worry, I'll get you. This so-called nationalist anchor talked about, viewers, talked about Pulwama, saying this was a great TRP victory. He was telling Partho Das Gupta, give us a spike. That is what he was saying. Sir, 20 minutes ahead on the biggest terrorist attack of the year in Kashmir. Only channel with a ground presence. He goes on to say, Partho says, Modi happened yesterday. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Arnab Goswami said, no, I have planned some build-up thing after we spoke. Idea to gain massive spike. So used his speech yesterday and pushed it by a bit today. This attack, we have won like crazy. We have won like crazy. TRP. Partho Das Gupta says, your DD man is acting funny. Arnab says, okay. Convergence committee, he's talking about. No representation of smaller channels in BARC and IBF board, rotation important. Chairman should be from outside industry, reputed person. Because this is unhealthy. For PMO, note it, wanted a job there. Any clue on what's happening? Meeting MIB secretary at 4. I've shared those points yesterday, says Arnab Goswami, with PMO, says Partho Das Gupta, or the minister, not with the secretary. Minister, Partho asks, no, PMO. Viewers, please let me know what he says. They're all so invested in each other. I leave it at that, viewers. The ED needs to be investigating the right questions here. Viewers, as I said, we have a clean chit. Why has the ED buried it? I leave it to you.
ladies and gentlemen. Tonight on the NewsHour, we bring to you two extremes of the Indian political spectrum. On the one hand, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today is in Gujarat and has sounded the poll bugle for the state elections due to take place later this year. The Prime Minister also took out road shows in Surat and Bhavnagar, where he was welcomed with rose petals showered at his car. The Prime Minister also gave the gift of development by launching projects worth 29,000 crore to the state of Gujarat. The Prime Minister just a few minutes ago inaugurated the 36th National Games in Ahmedabad today and hailed India's shining sporting success. Prime Minister, while inaugurating the National Games, said that the spirit of the anthem of National Games of Judega India, Jeetega India could be felt at the Games, and that shows the bright future of Indian sports. Listen in to the Prime Minister.
3P यानी पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप की चर्चा होती थी, तब मैं कहता था कि सूरत 4P का उदाहरण है, पीपल्स, पब्लिक, प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप। इन 2 दशकों में यहां गरीबों के लिए, झुग्गियों में रहने वालों के लिए करीब करीब 80,000 घर बनाए गए हैं। सूरत शहर के लाखों लोगों के जीवन स्तर में इससे सुधार आया है। साथियों, डबल इंजन की सरकार बनने के बाद और घर बनाने में भी तेजी आई है और सूरत के गरीबों, मिडिल क्लास को दूसरी अनेक सुविधाएं भी मिलने लगी है। आयुष्मान भारत योजना के तहत देश में अभी तक लगभग 4 करोड़ गरीब मरीजों को मुफ्त इलाज मिल चुका है। इसमें 32 लाख से अधिक मरीज गुजरात के और लगभग 1.25 लाख मरीज ये मेरे सूरत के हैं।
नेशनल गेम्स का एंथम जुड़ेगा इंडिया, जीतेगा इंडिया। मैं कहूंगा जुड़ेगा इंडिया, आप बोलिए जीतेगा इंडिया। जुड़ेगा इंडिया, जुड़ेगा इंडिया, जुड़ेगा इंडिया।
Ladies and gentlemen, even as the Prime Minister has begun the khela for Gujarat, let's show you what's happening in the Congress party on the other side. The party is on slippery slope, hit with chaos and turbulence within its own camp. Today, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot apologized to Sonia Gandhi for the shenanigans of Rajasthan and pulled out of the race for the Congress president. In the letter accessed by Times Now, the Rajasthan Chief Minister has said that he was hurt or ahat by what had happened in Jaipur last week. Gehlot said he was taking moral responsibility for the Rajasthan revolt when his supporters refused to meet the central observers and convened a meeting parallel to the Congress Legislative Party's meet. The Rajasthan Chief Minister said that the Congress chief will decide the Rajasthan Chief Minister next. Even as the Congress continues to be in disarray, his opponent Sachin Pilot is currently closeted with the Congress interim president Sonia Gandhi, and the Ahat Gehlot has conveniently walked away from the race to the Congress president post and kept intact his chief ministerial gaddi, or so he thinks. So for now, the Congress presidential election seems to set for a friendly match between the High Command's choice and the G23 candidate Shashi Tharoor and Digvijay Singh, who are both today seen in pictures hugging each other and making a show of bonhomie, with a third angle being added with the entry of former Congress MLA from Jharkhand, KN Tripathi. Let's also make you listen in to Gehlot's apology that gives you leaves you wondering just what's going on.
मुझे जो दुख है वो मैं जान सकता हूँ, क्योंकि पूरे देश में मैसेज चला गया जैसे मैं मुख्यमंत्री बना जाना चाहता हूँ, इसलिए सब कुछ हो रहा है। मैंने सोनिया जी से भी सॉरी फील किया है, माफी मांगी है।
So the legitimate question we are asking on the NewsHour tonight, while Modi kicks off the Khela in Gujarat, is it game over for the Congress party? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side. Modi in Gujarat, that's the hashtag and the debate on the other side.
You're watching the NewsHour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining me tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, Sujata Pandey, political analyst, Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist, advocate Abhishek Sudhir, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party's Tiranga Shakha. But my first question goes to Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress party. Lokesh Jindal, आपको कुछ समझ आ रहा है? दुनिया को तो कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा कांग्रेस में क्या हो रहा है। दिग्विजय इन, गहलोत आउट, शशि थरूर साइडवेज इन, पॉसिबली पवन बंसल कमिंग इन, पैराशूटिंग फ्रॉम द टॉप। जस्ट व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन इन द कांग्रेस पार्टी? वहां प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज अनाउंसिंग PPPP, पीपल्स पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप। आपका एक पी नहीं डिसाइड हो रहा है, कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट, क्या चक्कर है भाई?
Good evening, Navika. Navika, in democracy, it's about elections, not nominations. So, in Congress times, in the rule of Congress, our chief minister is elected. He's not nominated and kicked out at the pretty will of some authoritarian regime at the center. And secondly, when you're talking about the prime minister and he talks about PPPP, he should also understand in this P there is also a price rise, which is a P he is missing upon. Now in this price rise, you look at what is happening in Gujarat. Everywhere, food, clothing, shelter, energy, everywhere there is a price rise. In the food, the lemon is reached 240 rupees a kg. Among the clothing, textile industries, they are hit. Almost all the spindles, they are on the verge of bankruptcy. They are put on sale. 400 to 500 rupee per square feet a rise in the property rate. Suddenly, and with respect to iron, cement, all the commodities are rising. CNG, it has increased by 37%. With respect to Amul milk, it has increased by 2 rupees. The Aam Aadmi, the ordinary man, a very, very simple person on the road, he is exploited because of this price rise, and who is benefiting are some of the corporates. The government has deliberately devalued the currency because it wants to favor those who are exporting goods. But what about those who are
currency apart, you have devalued the process of the selection or the election of the president. You are worried about all the other P's, but not about the P that you need to worry about, which is the president of your party. Because in the shenanigans that you have been doing over the last few days, may I ask you, एक भारत जोड़ो यात्रा पे निकले हुए हैं, एक राजस्थान में सेंट्रल ऑब्जर्वर्स नहीं आने जाने दे रहे, वहां MLAs are doing their own meetings, not worried about the people of Rajasthan. You have an elected government there and you're worried about Modi ji's price rise situation. Gaurav Bhatia, has the Congress party completely lost sight of not just the president but also its priorities? Another P?
The Prime Minister spoke from the heart, and today he is the pride of not just Gujarat but the entire country, and he leads from the front, and that is why worldwide we hear of the Gujarat model. The PPP of the BJP is all about people centric, but there is another PPP in the Congress. First P stands for Parivarvad, the second stands for PAP, and the third P stands for Paschatap. Parivarvad, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are symbolic of that. The kind of corruption that prevails in the Congress is the PAP. Navika, will I be disturbed like this?
No, Gaurav, go on.
Why do you call amateurs from the Congress?
इनकी आदत है वो they don't talk to the official observers, they only speak to the their separate parties. But Mr. Jindal, I'd request you not to interrupt him. You can always take a pot shot later. Gaurav, go on.
Thank you. So the first is Parivarvad. Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Robert Vadra, as well as Priyanka Vadra. 4 बच गए लेकिन पार्टी अभी बाकी है. The second is the PAP of corruption. Sonia Gandhi, the current president, out on bail. Rahul Gandhi out on bail, and Robert Vadra out on bail. 3 members of one family doing so much of PAP. And the third is Paschatap. Paschatap, that too forced by Sonia Gandhi. She is trying to diminish the stature of a chief minister. The chief minister today, who is a constitutional authority, says, sorry madam, as if he was a student and the principal of the school was Sonia Gandhi. And what saddens me today is that people of Rajasthan are wondering what about their interest, because Rajasthan today has the highest number of rapes in the entire country, 6 times more than Uttar Pradesh. The highest petrol rate is in Rajasthan, 112, Shri Ganganagar. Unemployment rate is the highest amongst large states, 30%. And yet Ashok Gehlot is busy galloping to Delhi rather than working for the people of Rajasthan. My second point is, so much so, they were talking about the internal democracy. Today I want to ask, Ashok Gehlot a few days back said he'll file nomination papers. Navika, what change now? He is not filing nomination papers. And look at the position of the presidency of the Congress. Sonia Gandhi is aggrieved because she feels that a chief minister is not willing to even accept the post of the presidentship of the Congress party. And when she ordered, the MLAs of Rajasthan defied, and this is revenge. Badlapur bana diya hai inhone. The sad part is they are reducing democracy to a mockery in Rajasthan, and people of Rajasthan will teach them a befitting lesson. We are sure we will win Gujarat and create history, and the same way we will win Rajasthan as well.
Lokesh Jindal, 30 seconds. You wanted to rebut Mr. Bhatia.
Mr. Bhatia, you told about what democracy is, so let me tell you, democracy is all about dissent and consensus. You said that the constitutional authority of a state is asking sorry, so let me tell you, your Prime Minister kicked out the constitutional authority, Mr. Rupani, without even telling him what's the reason. So you please do not comment upon these issues of a constitutional authority not being respected. Secondly, when you are talking about the BJP model, so the entire nation knows that what is happening, hum do, hamare do, and who's benefiting from this entire propaganda, this entire agenda, and what is happening to an ordinary mass who at large is known to the country at large. And let me tell you,
लोकेश जिंदल जी, आपको तो हमारा एक नहीं मिल रहा, हमारा एक प्रेसिडेंट, आप पहले वो तो ढूंढ लीजिए. आपका रायता इतना फैल गया है कि पहले उसको समेट लीजिए, बाकियों के बारे में बाद में सोचेगा. And let me get in Advocate Abhishek Sudhir. Advocate Abhishek Sudhir, the question here is that there is an election, and this is not only about elections. I mean, the spectacle that is happening in Gujarat, the spectacle that is happening in Rajasthan, while they should have been concentrating on Gujarat elections, we are seeing that there is a chief minister, there is a government of the Congress party, but the government is totally oblivious of what governance is all about. They are running to and fro to try and fight amongst themselves कि भाई मैं प्रेसिडेंट नहीं बनूंगा कांग्रेस पार्टी का, मुझे तो यही चीफ मिनिस्टर रहना, because this is where the power is, this is where I will stay, because Sachin Pilot should not come in. Now they are fighting within themselves. And let's just listen into Sachin Pilot, who's just come out after meeting Sonia Gandhi.
से मुलाकात करी और उन्होंने शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से हमारी सारी बातों को सुना और कार्यक्रम हुआ राजस्थान के जयपुर में, उस पर विस्तार से हमने चर्चा करी और मैं मानता हूं कि जो मेरे सेंटिमेंट्स थे, जो मेरी भावनाएं थी, जो मेरा फीडबैक था, तो मैंने इत्मीनान से कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष सोनिया गांधी जी को बताया है। और हम सब यही चाहते हैं कि हम इसी तरह मेहनत कर 2023 का विधानसभा चुनाव जीतें। उसके लिए हमको मिलकर काम करना पड़ेगा और राजस्थान के संदर्भ में जो भी निर्णय या जो भी डिसीजन लेना है पार्टी लेंगी। सबका एक ही उद्देश्य है बाकी राज्यों में कांग्रेस पार्टी के चुनाव को जीत को सुनिश्चित करें। और मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि हम लोग अगले 12-13 महीने में खूब मेहनत कर दोबारा कांग्रेस की सरकार बनाएंगे।
राजस्थान रहेगा कि आप दिल्ली आ रहे हैं?
मैंने कई बार मैं पहले भी कह चुका हूँ कि मेरी पहली प्राथमिकता है कि हम 30 साल से राजस्थान में 5 साल कांग्रेस 5 साल पूरा विश्वास है कि हम मेहनत करके दोबारा कांग्रेस की सरकार बना सकते हैं। 2023 में कांग्रेस की सरकार कैसे विफल हो, ये हम सबका सामूहिक प्रायोरिटी है। हमारा देश और उस दिशा में जो भी काम करना है, जो भी आने वाली रणनीति बनानी है, उस पर विस्तार से चर्चा हम लोगों ने करी है। हमारे AICC के जो नेता हैं और कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट से उनसे हमने पहुंचाया है। और राजस्थान के संदर्भ में मैं समझता हूँ सकारात्मक जो निर्णय लेने होंगे वो कांग्रेस पार्टी प्रेसिडेंट लेंगे उसमें।
Well, that is Sachin Pilot, more about nothing as he came out and spoke to the media. But Advocate Sudhir, that's what it's all about. For a second time, a young generation leader has been stopped in his track. So Rajasthan is in turmoil while their eyes on the ball of Gujarat should have been the priority of the Congress party. How do you see this in terms of the political scene that's developing not just in Gujarat but across India for 2024?
Well, Navika ji, the citizens of India, the people of Gujarat and Rajasthan deserve better than the Congress and the BJP. Let's just take the case of Jyotiraditya Scindia in Madhya Pradesh. All the P's that Gaurav Bhatia was listing out, was he also not a symptom of Parivarvad? Right? He's also a dynast, but very happily you took him. You were very happy to take Sachin Pilot and his 20 rebel MLAs a couple of years ago. You were very happy to take most of the Congress party in Goa into your party. Why is the Congress even being invited to these debates? The Congress is not even fighting the election in Gujarat. The Congress is a joke. And unfortunately for Prime Minister Modi, his dream of a Congress Mukt Bharat is coming true. But what the Prime Minister is realizing is it's better to not have a Congress Mukt Bharat because defeating the Congress is easy. The Prime Minister has a template to defeat the Congress. He does not have a template to defeat some of the other parties that are now filling the vacuum that is being left by the Congress. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is in Kerala for the last 20 days. Are you fighting the communists there? Why isn't your Yatra in Gujarat? Why isn't your Yatra in Himachal? At the end of the day, the people of Gujarat, I'm sure, know now that if they vote for the Congress, it's a vote for the BJP because there's every chance that that Congress MLA will go to the BJP. So if you vote for the if you're not going to vote for, if you're going to vote for any party in Gujarat that is not the Aam Aadmi Party, the vote is for the BJP. The way I see it, the contest is between BJP and India's newest political startup.
Well, so let me get in the political analyst before I go back to Gaurav Bhatia and Lokesh Jindal. I want to ask Sujata Pandey first. Sujata Pandey, is it really between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party because the Congress has marginalized itself so beautifully that they're out of the contest?
Well, if you see this in the Gujarat's context, if you're asking me, I would say just 2x2 of Congress or AAP is going to result in 0. The reason is primarily is because they don't have the narrative. The narrative is only anti-Modi. They don't have a neta, nobody to match the charisma of the Modi yet in Gujarat or elsewhere. So it is going to result in 0. You know, if you say AAP is going to be a big contender, Navika, I would say they might get some, they might be able to make some noise. But that's all about it. It's not going to be that easy because understand this, that Gujarat is split into two. You know, the Congress has its base in the rural areas and the BJP has a base in the urban areas. And these are two different dynamics. If you see the municipal election also, you know, AAP managed to get a 14% in municipal election, but got only 3% in panchayat. So it is, I do not really see, and by the way, in your own survey 1 month ago when you had done that, it was shown that the liquor gate is going to affect the image of the AAP, and that time even the liquor gate had just come out. Now that the liquor gate is all exposed and AAP's model is all fall flat, because what Delhi model they are claiming to be implementing in Gujarat, they are not even able to implement that in Punjab. The party which came into limelight from the India against corruption is neck deep into corruption. Look at Congress now. Congress, when Rahul Gandhi is doing Bharat Jodo Yatra, the Congress, after supporting Tukre Tukre gang, is getting into Tukre Tukre in every state, not just Rajasthan. You just wait for it. Chhattisgarh is coming word. We saw what happened in Punjab. They tried putting their own person or someone, let's say someone who can listen to the high command, ala command, and then what happened? A comfortable looking state, they lost it. And how? And same thing is happening with Rajasthan. Understand one thing, Navika, politics is all about perception. You need to have a face, you need to have local connect, you need to have a narrative, a solid narrative. Because what is Congress? Tell me in 2 states that they're having, what is the model they have? Do they have a development model? Do they have that where they have...
No, they have a Gehlot versus pilot model. They have they have a T.S. Singhdev versus Bhupesh Baghel model. That's the model that the Congress has come up with. And we've seen the presidential race model and Shekhar Iyer. I'm coming to all of you. As they say, khela hobe. Shekhar Iyer, you've seen both the Congress and the BJP at very, very close quarters. What does it look like? The Congress is in shambles, it has been for a while. But the latest round of shenanigans, where does that leave the Congress party? And of course, where does this leave politics coming up through the elections just a few months away from us?
Well, Navika, as you said in the beginning, the whole problem is Congress has invented new problems when it had to solve the problems they had. Just because Rahul Gandhi did not want to become Congress president at this juncture, they invented this new problem of who will be the chief minister of Rajasthan. And in Gujarat particularly, we know what is happening to the Congress there. They have been losing their leaders belonging to very powerful communities, including Patidars, Ayers, all major important community leaders are going over to the BJP. And the whole problem is they are facing Prime Minister Modi, as we have seen his repeated forays in the last couple of months. Prime Minister Modi has taken it upon himself to lead the BJP campaign because he understands the kind of anti-incumbency issues that the BJP faces there. But then he's putting his own personality on test there. And I cannot see a situation where people of Gujarat will give up on Prime Minister Modi today. They still believe he has a solution for Gujarat. They know there have been problems in the last 5 years. You have seen changes at the helm. But if you compare it with the alternatives in offer, whether it is Aam Aadmi Party or Congress, I can't see a situation where they will reject Prime Minister Modi in this assembly elections.
And that's your problem, Advocate Sudhir. That is the problem. The problem is that the comparison is between Narendra Modi, who stands as tall as the Statue of Liberty, and there is nobody opposite him, whether it's the Congress party or the Aam Aadmi Party, which may have entered Gujarat but cannot take itself so seriously that they can actually be a challenger to Modi just yet. उसमें अभी समय लगेगा, एक दो इलेक्शन और लगेंगे.
Navika ji, we know that the biggest compliment that Narendra Modi and Amit Shah can pay you is to send the ED and the CBI after you. Looks like Times Now might be paid that compliment also very soon. So this is the thing, this is the modus operandi of the Prime Minister and his trusted lieutenant. If they do not see the Aam Aadmi Party as a threat, then why are they going after the Aam Aadmi Party? They are waking up every morning and every BJP spokesperson, his brief every morning is attack Aam Aadmi Party, attack Aam Aadmi Party, attack Aam Aadmi Party. When the two Gujaratis have anointed you public enemy number one in their eyes, when they have said you are the opponent, you are the challenger, that is exactly what they're doing. If they don't see the Aam Aadmi Party as a threat, ignore the Aam Aadmi Party. In Delhi, you're embarrassed by the Aam Aadmi Party. In Punjab, you're embarrassed by the Aam Aadmi Party. The Prime Minister's MLA is Arvind Kejriwal. The Prime Minister's MLA is Arvind Kejriwal. That fact cannot be changed. The Prime Minister cannot win Delhi. So if he cannot win Delhi, why can't Kejriwal win Gujarat? That's the simple question.
Gaurav Bhatia, you want to respond to Advocate Sudhir?
Absolutely. First of all, he is a lawyer, but he presents very weak arguments because he became personal and he started attacking me. I'll refer to it later. Let me very proudly say this. He was talking about dynasty. Since the inception of the Bharatiya Janata Party, we have seen many presidents and never have they been from the same parivar. The Bharatiya Janata Party has given 2 prime ministers to India and both of them are not from one family. And the last 24 years when Congress Party has seen 2 presidents from the same parivar, Navika, we have seen 9 and they are not from one parivar.
This is against Lokesh Jindal.
Now talking about me.
Lokesh Jindal, please.
Can he be quiet? Otherwise, I'll have to be brutal with him. Please ask him to be quiet. Please ask him to be quiet.
Answer my question. Answer my question.
You
can't win Delhi. Why can't Kejriwal win Gujarat?
He was quite cheap.
Okay.
Why can't you
All
win
right,
Delhi?
he's responding to you. He's responding to you, Advocate Sudhir. He's responding to you. Only one man can bat at a time.
He's going after the Congress, Navika.
Arey bhai,
Navika is going after the
do.
Congress. This is what I'm saying.
One batsman at a time. One batsman at a time. You're on the non-strikers end, so please relax. Gaurav Bhatia, continue.
Thank you. Then Navika, he made a personal remark about me. He said I belong to a dynasty too. He is a lawyer. I challenge him. I was designated as a senior advocate at the age of 41 by the Honorable Supreme Court. I won 2 elections as the Honorary Secretary of the Supreme Court Bar Association. I don't think dynasty makes you win elections or gets you designated as a senior advocate. If you are one, you can tell me. Now be quiet and listen to me. He talks about the Aam Aadmi Party. And you know what India is saying?
I'm lowering your fader, Advocate Sudhir. If you keep interrupting, we'll never get to the meat of the debate if you keep interrupting. 1 minute. Yes, Gaurav Bhatia, complete your point. Please lower all fader.
Yes. Yes. Navika, two quick points which need a rebuttal. First, he was talking about Aam Aadmi Party. India is saying, aap nahi paap hai. और पाप क्यों है? I'll tell you. Satyendra Jain, कट्टर ईमानदार था, वो कट्टर बेईमान निकला. 4 months he has not been granted bail. Manish Sisodiya, Deputy CM, accused number 1 in the excise policy scam. They withdrew the policy. If it was so good, why did you withdraw it? Arrests have been made. Amanatullah Khan, again arrested because he was converting schools into shops and commercial projects. And I must say, High Court, Delhi High Court, you must respect. What did they say? You were casting aspersions on the LG without any basis and you have been directed to remove those posts. And earlier the Delhi High Court reprimanded Arvind Kejriwal saying, don't have a tainted minister in your cabinet. So much for aap. Aap nahi paap hai. Now coming to misuse of ED. I want to just give certain facts. Where is Sanjay Raut? Has he got bail? Where is Satyendra Jain? Inside jail. Partha Chatterjee, Gulabi Gadia, inside jail, no bail. Anil Deshmukh. All these people have been indulging in acts of corruption and money laundering and now they are behind bars. And Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi are the ones who are also being probed by the ED and are out on bail. Navika, what does it show? There is one party in India, the Bharatiya Janata Party, which provides clean government, which provides a government which is for the people, by the people and of the people. And the rest are all scamsters. They indulge in acts of corruption and when they are exposed, they make personal remarks which are not to be tolerated. And in the end, I would say, you were talking about Mr. Rupani. Let me tell you, he serves in the party very well with dignity. He is the state in charge for Punjab and Chandigarh. So please get your facts right.
Exactly, and he hasn't. And Lokesh Jindal, he hasn't created a scene in his own state as the scene being created between Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot. And on our screens, ladies and gentlemen, there's the Prime Minister in Ahmedabad now on to his scheduled programs where he is now at a cultural event. But Lokesh Jindal, I want to ask you. The Prime Minister today has announced projects, he's done road shows, he's inaugurated the National Games and then he's at a cultural event. That's called, throwing the games open, and in this case also the game of democracy open here. Aap hain kahan, boss? Congress hai kahan?
Navika, in fact, when we study the claims that are put forth by the Prime Minister and we look at the actual data by the CMIE, they are poles apart. Now the CMIE, it has produced a data that the gross investment rate has reduced to 29% on an average. The gross saving rate has reduced to 28%. But still the Prime Minister says that we are going to have a high economic growth of 7.3%.
So Mr. Rahul Gandhi, while he is doing his Bharat Jodo Yatra, is he saying something about solving these issues? Has Mr. Rahul Gandhi raised any of these issues?
All these issues are being raised by the Congress. The Congress is questioning
if
the investment rate is reducing. How is it
being raised? Shekhar Iyer, have you heard any of these issues being put center stage by the Congress party over the last 20 days? Have you heard?
The Congress.
Have you heard Shekhar Iyer?
No, what we have heard during the yatra, 18 days in Kerala, it has just got over. It's the same thing that Rahul Gandhi has been tweeting here around. It's the same attack on the Prime Minister, repeatedly saying these are the issues. There is no alternative, policy or anything that is coming from there. It's about the same thing. I mean, what he said in 2019 parliamentary elections are getting repeated every day. The same thing. And then trying to interpret whatever events that are happening in terms of that narrative he wants to do. But I mean, look at the scenario when so many things are happening in their own party. He is spending 18 days in Kerala. Now he is going to enter Karnataka. And I believe in Karnataka, the factional fights are even going to get worse because of the differences between DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah. People are saying, I mean, already in some places, poster of the Bharat Jodo Yatra was torn, allegedly by one of the rival groups.
Well, you want to respond to that, Mr. Jindal?
See, Navika, what I'm saying is all these political factions, dissensions, they are bound to occur in a democracy. But then we have to look at it in a constructive manner. Now, when we talk about economy at large,
have you seen these kind of dissensions in the Aam Aadmi Party? Forget the BJP. Advocate Sudhir, are these dissensions so frequent in the Aam Aadmi Party? Let's forget the BJP for the moment. Lokesh Jindal is making a point that these dissensions within a party are a natural thing. आप इन्हें बता दीजिए, नेचुरल है आम आदमी पार्टी में?
Look, I don't speak for the Aam Aadmi Party. I am a spokesperson of the Tiranga Shaka. I will make a general comment to what Mr. Jindal has said. I have been a resident of Bangalore. I am a Kannadiga, and the fight between DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah is out in the open. I live in an area of Sadashinagar where DK Shivkumar is called Sadashinagar, where DK Shivkumar is my neighbor. These fights are there for everybody to see, and this fight is going to end the Congress party in Karnataka also. It's going to be Gehlot versus Pilot 2.0. That's for sure.
Well, so where does that leave us, Sujata Pandey? Where does that leave us? Do you think once again we come back to square one where we are asking the question, what happens? They keep saying that Modi is bad, Modi is bad, Modi is bad. Where do you see them presenting an option to Modi at all? The man, goes abroad, comes back, checks the central vista, he works round the clock and people seem to be happy with him. Yes, 80% or 75% of the elections he wins. He loses some, but he wins most of them, yet they begin to say that, oh, he's the most hated man. Where are they getting their facts from?
Well, I think there's a saying now कि मिलकर बैठे हैं महफिल में जुगनू सारे ऐलान ये है कि सूरज को हरा देंगे. I think every election after election they have this defeat. Sometimes they are reduced to even lesser than nota votes, and they still don't learn the lesson. The problem with opposition is that they do not learn the lesson. People vote for your narrative. People are looking for alternative, but only when they see you as you are the one who can solve their issues. Today the fact is that none of the parties are doing that, because like I said, AAP is, and there are different themas, so tell me who is the opposition leader first of all? Is it Rahul Gandhi? Is it KCR? Is it Stalin? Is it Arvind Kejriwal? Is it Mamata Banerjee and now Nitish Kumar? So the entire thing is, we have been seeing it from 2014. The same narratives goes up every election and they say Modi is bad, and yet Modi is time and again elected and selected and nominated, and everybody, and he gets an approval rating of the world's most popular leader, popular even than the US president. So they must realize that Modi is today is just not a political image or person. He's become bigger because of the word, because of the vision of the India that he had. And I have it's all out in open. I think he gave voice to a lot of people who couldn't even speak. The appeasement politics, people were tired of it. The appeasement politics, the corruption.
Navika, just 20 seconds.
He came as an answer to all of that, and that is why probably the popularity. See, in democracy there is only one currency: the vote of the public. And I think Modi, on his own name, he's winning election after election. There must be something, right? You may say you don't like Modi, but people like him, state after state election. And by the way, Sudhir, coming to your question that you said, why AAP cannot win Gujarat? By your logic, Sudhir, BJP has just recently won 4 states, has won Gujarat from 25 years. By that logic, why BJP cannot win Gujarat again? So this logic doesn't work. And another thing about ED, CBI. Tell me something, Arvind Kejriwal is not even in picture for 2024. It can be even Nitish Kumar or Rahul Gandhi, we really don't know, or someone else will come in picture. So, by that logic, why are they not sending ED and CBI behind Nitish Kumar? Why do you think only AAP gets into all these corruption? Because there's a fact. And by the way, these cases are not run by BJP court of law. These are in the court of law. उनके 2 ministers already jail में बंद है भाई. एक को तो खुद ही के मुख्यमंत्री ने डाला है.
Advocate Sudhir, respond to the fiery attack by Sujata Pandey.
These are like कुत्तर है ये. Sorry, but कुत्तर कानों में दर्द होता है ये.
But I like the statement she made. मिलकर निकले हैं जुगनू सारे के जीतेंगे सूरत से. वही कुछ किस्सा है आपका, Advocate Sudhir.
Navika ji, just one quick point, 2 points. One on Nitish Kumar. अरे divorce अभी हुआ है. The divorce has just happened, yaar. अभी थोड़ा time दीजिए. अभी we'll see what will happen there. As far as the narrative, as far as madam, don't interrupt. Now I listen to you.
Okay, Sujata, allow
madam, I listen to you. Please let me speak.
Allow him to speak.
Navika ji, now give me my time.
See, when you interrupt Gaurav,
so the question of narrative, it was the Prime Minister. It was, arey bhai, please, yaar, madam, please. When it was the Prime Minister in Uttar Pradesh, it was the Prime Minister in Uttar Pradesh who spoke of Revdi politics. He brought up this so-called freebie culture. The Prime Minister, if he was not threatened by the Aam Aadmi Party's governance model, why would he attack it? Why give that governance model so much importance? It is the Prime Minister who's playing on the pitch of the Aam Aadmi Party. The election in Gujarat is not being fought on Hindu-Muslim lines like in Uttar Pradesh. The election in Gujarat is being fought on governance.
Do you think the Prime Minister is playing on the pitch of the Aam Aadmi Party?
Don't scream, yaar. God.
Shekhar Iyer.
Beg your pardon?
Is the Prime Minister playing on the pitch of the Aam Aadmi Party?
Not at all, because if you can see, in fact, the arrest of AAP leaders are being announced by Arvind Kejriwal. Every day, he goes to Gujarat, come back, then says so and so is getting arrested. I mean, he announces in advance, as if, he has a preview of what the agencies are doing. I mean, that sometimes looks funny. That goes to show, what has happened is when you stay in power for some time, the lure of all these things, the spoils of power are coming to hit. That is how this excise scam has come, and other scams that are on the pipeline or under investigation. Because as was mentioned here, these have to go before the court of law. If a person like Satyendra Jain is unable to get bail, that's because the agencies are able to present some evidence before the court.
Exactly.
I mean, that is clear.
That's
So I think.
And that's the point. The proof of the pudding is, seen in the courts. And in the courts, bail hasn't been given to many leaders who continue to try and call this political vendetta. Before I end the debate, Gaurav Bhatia, 30 seconds to you. Is it a done deal in Gujarat, or do you think there is a competition?
Just two quick points, Davika. And I would only like to end with a couplet. इन्हें गुमा है कि मेरी उड़ान कम है, मुझे यकीन है पूरा आसमान कम है. एंड अगर प्लेयर अच्छा होना तो वो पिच नहीं देखता है. नरेंद्र मोदी जी इज अ प्लेयर who would score a century on any pitch because he's worked tirelessly. He's one of the best in the field and India is proud of it. And on facts, I would say, Lok Sabha elections, what happened? Delhi, 7 Lok Sabha seats won by BJP, all 7. AAP got 0, 2014 to 2019. Arvind Kejriwal went to Banaras. What happened? Namo versus Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal got routed and never came back in 2019. So never compare Narendra Modi with a local leader like Arvind Kejriwal, जो आप नहीं है, पाप है, भ्रष्टाचारी नंबर 1 है, accused नंबर 1 वही है. There is no comparison between the Bharatiya Janata Party and AAP.
Well, Punjab may have been a victory, but also, Advocate Sudhir, don't forget Uttar Pradesh, the deposits that were lost. Don't forget Uttarakhand, what happened there. So, well, there can always be a first time, but for the moment, of course, the main opponent of the BJP in Gujarat seems to be completely mired in their own created troubles, and that is the Congress party. Will the Aam Aadmi Party really get the ground that the Congress is awaiting and vacating? The fact is, can they take on the BJP? As of now, well, in Gujarat, is it even possible to think about beating Narendra Modi in the short run? That's the question that people of India are talking about. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1. On the other side, after the Bajrang Dal warned non-Hindus to stay away from Garba venues, incidents of assault on Muslim youth have been reported from Gujarat, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. 4 Muslim men were beaten up by activists of the Bajrang Dal at a Garba event in Ahmedabad. Videos show a person being stripped, punched and kicked by half a dozen men in saffron scarves amidst busy traffic. The person identified himself as Salman Sheikh and was seen pleading to the mob to allow him to go home. Listen in.
ગરબા જોવા આવ્યો તો મારી મોહનને જોવા આવ્યો તો
Similar scenes were witnessed in Akola in Maharashtra, where 4 Muslim boys were thrashed by locals and slapped repeatedly in the presence of police. The officials at the Garba events confirmed that identity check was mandatory to enter the pandals, and action was taken against those entering by hiding their identities. In Madhya Pradesh's Indore, 5 Muslim youth were arrested for allegedly filming girls at an event. These youth were accused of taking pictures of girls and filming them during the Garba event. Some of these pictures taken by these men in Akola as well as Indore were pictures that are said to be from low angles, voyeuristic and completely invading the privacy of women. Now, BJP leaders and MP ministers seem to have echoed the call given by the Bajrang Dal to ban Muslims from their Navratri festivities. Bhopal Member of Parliament Sadhvi Pragya Thakur said that Muslims should not be allowed in Garba pandals, while MP Minister Narottam Mishra said that no one should be allowed without identity checks. While on the other hand, the opposition claims that this is a bid to target the Muslim community. Listen in.
ये दो जिहादी पकड़े गए, इधर देखो, इधर देख, ये दो जिहादी, ये मोमेडियन है, गरबे में आए भी हैं। अरे इसको भी भेजो क्या? इन लोगों को भी भेजो, भेजो, ये भेज रहे, अरे भेजो इसको, थाने भेजो। जब पुलिस आ रहा था, वो बोल रहा था उनको थाने जाने दो, क्या ये अंदर बिठो।
कोई भी पंडाल में, अगर गरबा पंडाल में जाते हैं तो वहाँ पर उनका आइडेंटिटी चेक किया जाए, और मैं कहती हूँ आइडेंटिटी चेक भी किया जाए, और मुस्लिम समुदाय के लोगों को वहाँ पर जाने ना दिया जाए। हम हमारी पूजा पद्धति को शुद्ध रखना चाहते हैं, करना चाहते हैं। और दूसरी बात, किसी भी प्रकार से मुस्लिम समुदाय के लोगों के पंडाल, उनकी वस्तुएं, उनका वहाँ वो सब कार्य वर्जित होना चाहिए हमारे धार्मिक कार्यक्रमों में। ये हमारा शुद्ध रूप से कहना है।
देखिए, किसी भी इंडिविजुअल या सिंगल केस की वजह से किसी मतलब रिलीजन को या किसी धर्म विशेष को आड़े हाथ नहीं लेना चाहिए। हर मजहब के लोग ऐसे मिलेंगे, हर इलाके में, हर स्टेट में, हर खित्ते में कुछ लोग ऐसे मिलते हैं। तो अब उसको लेके आप उस पर्टिकुलर किसी रिलीजन पे अटैक करना, पर्टिकुलर किसी भाषाभाषी लोगों पे अटैक करना, किसी समुदाय को अटैक करना, ये सब गलत है, इस तरह नहीं होना चाहिए।
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining me on the News Hour, Vinod Bansal, national spokesperson of the BJP, Professor Atikur Rahman, political analyst. And Vinod Bansal ji, I want to ask you, why is there such a lack of trust suddenly that is coming out? क्या हम intolerant हो रहे हैं या वाकई कोई मुद्दा है?
देखिए, मुद्दा तो बहुत बड़ा है। नाविका जी, आपके सुधी दर्शकों को अच्छी तरह से पता है कि किस प्रकार से ये पहली बार नहीं हुआ। सैकड़ों वर्षों से हम गरबा खेलते चले आ रहे हैं। कभी किसी ने कोई प्रतिबंध की बात करी क्या? किसी ने कोई रोक टोक की बात करी क्या? लेकिन पिछले कुछ वर्षों में जिस तरह से हमने देखा कि जो समुदाय जिसके यहाँ पिक्चर वर्जित है, मूर्ति पूजा वर्जित है, जिसके यहाँ म्यूजिक वर्जित है, जिसके यहाँ डांस वर्जित है, वो हमारे गरबा में आकर के लोअर एंगल से फोटो वीडियो बनाते हैं, लब जिहाद करते हैं, छेड़छाड़ करते हैं, उत्पात मचाते हैं, और कई केसेस में तो हमने ये भी देखा है कि बेटियों को बाहर निकलते के साथ उठा के भी ले जाते हैं। आप देखिए कि इस तरह की स्थितियां, परिस्थितियां निर्माण करने के लिए कौन जिम्मेदार है? और आखिरकार क्या हिंदू समाज को अपनी सुरक्षा करने का अधिकार नहीं है क्या? महिलाओं की सुरक्षा करना बजरंग दल का एक नैतिक जिम्मेदारी है, और बजरंग दल का ध्येय वाक्य सेवा, सुरक्षा और संस्कार, और हम किसी भी कीमत पर हिंदू समाज की सुरक्षा के लिए कृतसंकल्पित हैं। अगर समाज कोई एक्शन लेता है, आप देखिए बजरंग दल के कार्यकर्ता स्वतः स्फूर्त नहीं गए थे। वहां के स्थानीय आयोजकों ने कहा कि इस तरह की स्थितियां हैं, हमने जाकर के चेक किया और वास्तव में देखा कि वो आइडेंटिटी अपनी छुपा करके और वहां पर जाकर के वो क्या कुकृत्य कर रहे थे, इसका दर्शन आपने स्वयं दिखाया। और इसके बावजूद भी अगर कोई ये कहे कि नहीं जी, एक छोटे मोटे लोगों को छोड़ करके, एक आध लोगों को छोड़ करके, दो चार को छोड़ करके आप समुदाय को पेंट कर रहे हो, तो भाई समुदाय ऐसा क्यों करता है? आप मुझे बताइए, अगर जो कोई समुदाय विशेष का व्यक्ति ही अगर कोई फलों पर, सब्जियों पर वो टट्टी पेशाब लगा करके बेचता है और उसको थूक लगा करके बेचता है, तो मैं उस समुदाय का बहिष्कार नहीं करूंगा तो क्या करूंगा भाई? आप मुझे बताइए, हिंदू समाज का मजबूत क्यों किया जा रहा है आखिरकार इन सब चीजों के लिए? पहले नहीं होता था, ऐसा आज क्यों हो रहा है जी?
रिस्पॉन्ड टू व्हाट मिस्टर बंसल इज
सेइंग। जिम्मेदारी जो उलेमा है,
बंसल जी, आतिकुर रहमान की बात सुन लीजिए, और मैं आई वांट टू आस्क आतिकुर रहमान, organizers do have you know, many very often written outside their festivals or wherever, rights of admission reserved. So if they exercise that option, where's the problem?
Naturally.
Navika ji, only 3 points I would like to mention. First, if the organizers are mentioning that no outsiders are allowed or even the IDs will be checked, nobody will go into these are dramas staged by the VHP because they want to create a psyche of an animosity among the communities. At least in Mumbai and in cities, people do play Garba along with all other religions. This they cannot tolerate. अरे विनोद बंसल जी, मुगले आजम देख लिया करो कभी कभार, थोड़ा प्यार मोहब्बत बांटो, प्यार किया तो डरना क्या?
मुगले आजम का मुगल नहीं तो देश का सत्यानाश किया है। आपके जैसे लोग मुगलों का साथ दे दे करके ही तो परेशान कर रहे हैं देश को। मुस्लिम यूथ को भड़काने का काम आपके जैसे लोग ही कर रहे हैं। अरे कम काश अगर आपने ये कहा होता दो शब्द जो है कि हाँ ये गलत है, प्यार नहीं है ये, प्यार नहीं है ये, धर्मांतरण है, प्यार नहीं है, प्यार का धंधा है। ये धंधेबाजों को बचाइए, ये मुस्लिम यूथ को बचाइए, ये इस्लाम को भी खा जाएंगे।
देखो जाकर
भाई साहब, ये इस्लाम को भी खा जाएंगे।
आतिकुर रहमान साहब, आप अगर कह रहे हैं, आतिकुर रहमान साहब आप अगर कह रहे हैं तो प्यार किया तो डरना क्या? तो मैं आपसे पूछ लूं तो गणपति बप्पा मौर्य से भी प्यार कर लीजिए। Why does वारिस पठान have to apologize just because he said Ganpati Bappa Maurya? Why was he required by his by people of his religion and his community to apologize for that? Why?
Sahab should be on the panel to answer this.
वो लिटन दास का भी देखिए,
नहीं क्यों?
बांग्लादेश में लिटन दास के साथ क्या हुआ?
आइए गरबा पर भी आइए तो जन्माष्टमी पर भी आ जाइए, गणपति बप्पा मौर्य भी बोल लीजिए। उस वक्त क्यों नहीं आते?
स्टॉप दिस।
नहीं, द पॉइंट इज
ये नहीं जाएंगे जन्माष्टमी पर, ये नहीं जाएंगे।
पठान साहब, आई एम नॉट आंसरेबल फॉर हिज स्टेटमेंट्स।
ओके,
अरे बंसल जी, आप युवा और युवतियों को क्यों नहीं फ्रीडम देना चाहते हो साहब?
जो है वो आखिरकार उसकी क्या गलती थी? उसने तो वहां दुर्गा पर शुभकामना संदेश दिया था। बांग्लादेश का बड़ा फेमस क्रिकेटर है, और उसके बावजूद भी उसको ट्रोल कर दिया आप लोगों ने। आप मुझे बताइए, आपकी मर्जी, अरे आपकी मर्जी है तो मुस्लिम बहन जब दुर्गा पूजा करती है तो आपको सांप को सूंघ जाता है? मुस्लिम लड़की अगर कोई गणेश पूजा करती है तो फतवा क्यों जारी हो जाता है? अगर कोई मुस्लिम महिला शिव स्तुति करती है तो आपको सांप क्यों सूंघ जाता है? आप बताइए ना। आखिरकार आपके यहाँ जब म्यूजिक का बैन है तो आखिरकार वहां जाकर लोअर एंगल से फोटो खींचने के लिए ये इस्लाम अलाउ करता है क्या? क्या पैगंबर मोहम्मद साहब ने कहा है क्या कि वहां जाकर के लोअर एंगल से फोटो खींचिए लड़कियों की? कैसी बात कर रहे हो?
1 मिनट,
समझाइए अपना यूथ को।
आतिकुर रहमान, आई डोंट से
इस्लाम को भी खा जाएंगे।
1 मिनट, अलाउ मी टू कम इन, अलाउ मी टू कम इन। 1 मिनट बंसल जी, 1 मिनट। Atikur Rahman, for me this is not a religious issue. For me this is a social issue. If I'm a mother, I have a daughter, whether my daughter is Aisha or my daughter is Akanksha, I would be worried if somebody was clicking her pictures from a low angle, and I would be worried when with abandon she wants to dance. She can't freely dance in Garba simply because there are men hovering around, and I don't know if they will click my daughter's pictures. I want to ask you, as a society, do we not need to resolve this issue, find solutions?
Yes, the only
इनको शर्म आनी चाहिए, हाथ जोड़ के माफी मांगनी चाहिए समाज से।
I am speaking and sitting in Mumbai.
माफी मांगनी चाहिए आकर के।
He won't allow me to speak.
बंसल जी सबको नहीं मांगेंगे ना, जिन्होंने गलत किया वो मांगेंगे। हाँ, आतिकुर रहमान साहब, रिस्पॉन्ड।
That's it.
नहीं, ये गलत करने वालों को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं ना।
नाविका जी, if the event organizers are having a board outside, then why would anybody enter it? They are staging this drama because they are protecting people from celebrating a cultural festival. For me, Navratri is a cultural event. It is not a religious event.
But for somebody else it is a religious function. But even if that is the issue, Bansal ji, I also want to ask you, Can you take the law into your own hand and just, as we saw in those visuals, can you catch hold of such people and begin to beat them? Can you begin to beat them? After all, the law is there. Hand them over to the police. Let the police address that issue. Can Bajrang Dal people go around beating up people just because they belong to a certain community?
No, not just because they belong to a particular committee. This is because of the reason they were doing the things which is derogatory to my society, which is derogatory to the dignity of the woman, which is derogatory against the law, and which is against the constitutional values of the country. And इसीलिए मैंने बजरंग दल के कार्यकर्ताओं की जिम्मेदारी मैंने स्टार्टिंग में बोला था, सेवा, सुरक्षा और संस्कार, ये हमारा ध्येय वाक्य है. और हम और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं हमें
I think the recent trend of these kind of issues coming up, especially during Navratris, during the Garba being celebrated. In recent years, we've seen these issues of identity cards, etc. coming up. My only view on this is that on both sides, we need to look at this as a societal issue. We need to be vigilant to protect the girls who are participating, but at the same time, we can't be supporting those who are trying to outrage the modesty of women, and on the other hand, there can't be some self-righteous moral police who will take law into their own hands to beat these people up. It's a societal issue, and as a society, we need to rein in our own. And all sides are our own. They are Indians at the end of the day, and these are our girls, our daughters, our sisters, our mothers, and we need to protect them all. That's all. No debate. Thank you very much, viewers, for joining me on the NewsHour tonight. Good night, be safe.
You were watching the NewsHour at 9. Stay tuned.
The most pressing issues, the most informed minds, free and fair exchange. Converse India with Rahul Shivshankar.
आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में.
नहीं हेममान
कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए ही कल राखी सावंत का फिल्म देंगे. He will also become. बनने नहीं देंगे. आप दिमाग में सबको ऐसा डाल के रखेंगे फिल्म स्टार ही बनेगा. आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में.
नहीं हेममान
कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए ही कल राखी सावंत का फिल्म देंगे. He will also become.
Good evening and welcome. You are watching the NewsHour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Over the course of the last few weeks, communal fault lines in the UK have been exposed like never before. And Times Now has repeatedly dug out evidence that shows where does this fault lie. How targets were marked on the backs of Hindus and their religious symbols, unleashing unprecedented violence, venom and fear. Today we get you another piece of evidence of that horrid hate that was spewed on members of the Hindu community in Birmingham. Remember, we showed you that video of how there was a Durga temple which was surrounded, it was mobbed and it was attacked. Today, we get you a closer look at that attack, which will give you evidence of what the motive and the intent was. Watch carefully. You will not see the slightest sign of provocation. And yet, the unsuspecting temple goers in Durga Bhavan find themselves at the receiving end of unbridled and frankly disgusting hate rants.
You pissed and keep. You dirty pissed and keep. This ain't Leicester, you cuz. This is Brompton. Hiding. You dirty pissed and keep. Go eat some cow. Hey, you look shook. You look shook. Hey, you look shook. Hey, hey, go drink some cow. Hey, put that beat. Look at that piss drinking. Thank you. Back, please. Thank you. Back. Move back. We don't use it. Keep going.
That is right. Piss drinking, cow shit eating. That is the kind of invective that Hindus in the UK were subjected to. And if this is what makes you recoil in horror, let's play another video for you, which is again from Birmingham. Here even young girls minding their own business as they peacefully perform Garba were abused in racial terms by a man filming them.
These motherfucking Cheros out. I think it's India. On Green Lane Road, opposite Baker Ilm. It's almost like they're probably taking the piss and decided to do it in front of the mosque.
However, despite mounting evidence to the contrary, that narrative is being spun even now to say that the people who were the victims were actually the villains. Remember, not too long ago, there were publications not just in the UK but in India who are trying to help paint Hindus as the perpetrators. Remember the op-ed piece that spoke of how it was the hate which is bred in India that is being imported abroad. That it is because Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister in India that this militant Hindutva is imported in other countries and then faces a backlash like this. Yesterday, Hindus based in the UK were forced to come out and protest exactly this kind of narrative and biased coverage.
We are standing here in protest against biased journalism of UK newspapers and media houses like Guardian and BBC. They call us Hindu extremists. Hindus are victims of terrorism. Hindus are victims of attacks.
Joshi Krishna, namaste. I'm here at the Guardian offices protesting because they've been so anti-Hindu, it's been unfair. They're not neutral, they're very biased in their reporting. Hindus are a very peaceful community and they're constantly being oppressed, but they're being demonized and wrongly portrayed in the Guardian. The editor is responsible for causing division, hate and violence and must be accountable.
They tell us here we are demons, we are neo-Nazis, we are fascists, we are none of those. We are peaceful people, we are contributors to the British economy, we are not criminals. You can tally the prison statistics in UK. We have the least number of people in the prison and the highest number of taxpayers. We have assimilated.
Which is why, as a last resort, now Hindus in the UK are protesting on the streets, writing to members of parliament, hoping that they will be heard at least in some quarters. Their pleas seem to be resonating with a few. UK MP Teresa Villiers became the second parliamentarian to raise their plight in Parliament.
We have an urgent debate on Hindu-phobic hate crime. Recent days have seen a number of appalling acts of intimidation and harassment directed against the Hindu community, including a violent mob targeting a temple and tearing down a flag with spiritual significance. And I think it is important that these disgraceful episodes are discussed by this Parliament.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1, on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us now is Anirban Banerjee, political analyst, Vikraman, spokesperson of the VCK, Vivek Srivastav, also political analyst, Tushar Gupta, senior editor, Swaraj. But my first question is to you, Vaseek, counter-extremism analyst in London. It's funny that just a couple of days ago, we had a very prominent newspaper write, and I quote, "What is Hindu nationalism and how does it relate to trouble in Leicester? Hindutva is the predominant form in India and has been associated with right-wing extremism. Yet these images that we see from Birmingham seem to be showing quite another side to who the extremist is."
Yes, well, that seems to be an issue that we have, particularly in the left-wing media. Now, I wrote an article actually examining this and looking at a particular newspaper that was reporting on the issue, and it's been at the forefront. And of all the 11 articles that it wrote about the riots that took place in Leicester and then recently in Smithwick, we found that Hindutva was mentioned 13 times, whereas Islamist was mentioned only once. Now, not just that, a whole article was also dedicated to Hindutva ideology, and the assertion was that it was a right-wing ideology. And what that demonstrates is that because it was a left-wing newspaper, it was also aiming at portraying everything as right-wing, as if everything right-wing is bad or something like that. And it doesn't really interrogate it whatsoever. And unfortunately, we're seeing this a lot with some other newspapers who, or at least in the media, who are focusing so much on Hindutva when we know and we've seen the footage of Islamists who are clearly breaking the law, clearly putting lives at risk, clearly making Hindus, British Hindus, feeling like they want to leave their homes for fear of religious persecution. And this is absolutely ridiculous.
Sorry to interrupt you, but when you see a video and I see a video, and surely these columnists also see a video where you have a mob, it's not a person, it's not a group, it's a mob standing outside a temple where a man is literally got his hands folded and shouting at him that you are a dirty, cow piss drinking, cow shit eating and another abuse. Where do they see Hindutva extremism in this exchange?
Well, they seem to think that by shouting Hindutva, any Hindu gives them license to then belittle them and to use derogatory comments, racializing them and using anti-Hindu sentiments towards them, because there is a perception that Hindus are somehow controlling everything in India. They're responsible for what the BJP government is apparently doing to everyone over there. And this is the perception that seems to come. And so when you have media who are also echoing this and being, ushered around the Leicester area with individuals who are known to have links to terrorist groups, or at least support to terrorist groups, this raises a massive concern for Hindus in Britain when they're being portrayed by other people in the media.
So is it because, Vivek Srivastava, you want to hate on the Indian government that these people who are not even remotely connected to the party, the RSS, the BJP, the government, are being thrown under the bus? What is their fault? That they are Hindus. So they have to be called these names.
Well, that certainly seems to be the case, yes.
See, first of all, whatever happened was wrong.
Yes, Vivek.
Yeah, first of all, whatever happened was wrong and we criticize it. Any kind of an attack on any kind of a religious congregation of people, be it the Hindus or the Muslims or anyone, is wrong. Violence is wrong. Saying bad words about the religious practices of any religion is also wrong. So we condemn it. That is the first part. But however, you also have to analyze one thing, that post 2014 Hinduism has been getting a very bad name. Hinduism was a very respected name world across. It was related to peace, it was related to meditation, it was related to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it was related to blessings.
It is. What has changed?
And post 2014,
these people in Birmingham were minding their own business. They were praying to their gods in their temple.
Yeah, let me complete. Please
doing Garba in their locality.
I said I have condemned
what
it.
Has changed?
I have condemned it.
But you just did a whataboutery with absolutely zero facts.
You also have to.
What has changed after 2014 in this temple, in this particular case, where people are minding their own business?
As civilized, yes. Can I speak?
Yes.
Then please give me 30 seconds and let me complete. Kindly don't interrupt. As intelligent people, as people with some brains and education, and this country imparts good education, both Padmaja, you and all the panelists over here, we must analyze what is the root cause of these attacks.
What is the root cause?
Everybody is condemning it. Nobody is praising it.
What is the
Nobody
root cause?
is standing by it. People want the guilty to be punished. The root cause is that you have a fascist RSS which is running the country. Yeah, I'm telling you. You have the fascist RSS running the country by proxy here. Religious peace of this country is being disturbed. India has got a bad name. Hinduism has got a bad name.
How?
We are a deplored world over.
First of all,
do not know who broke the Babri Masjid.
Leap in so many ways.
Who broke the Babri Masjid.
First of all, sir, if you think, first of all, these people have got nothing to do with the government. You have made a leap that the government is fascist. Second, you have connected these people to the government, and I'm saying even if this is a fascist government and they are functionaries of the government, how can you abuse them by calling them cow shit eating and cow piss drinking dirty people? This has got nothing to do with the government. This is about their religion. Because when you bring in the cow, it is with the explicit idea to attack their religious identity.
I'll tell you.
The cow has got nothing to do with the BJP. They don't own the cow.
I have condemned it, but the reality is, no. I mean, come on. The RSS says we own the cow. I mean, they are the champions. The cows are
you saying anyone who has a cow in their house or who respects and worships the cow in India is automatically associated with the BJP?
I am not saying that.
Is that your strange logic?
All I am saying is the bad
because going by your logic, sir, Mahatma Gandhi himself would be of the BJP because it was Gandhiji who said that the most sacred animal for the Hindu is a cow, and which is why in India a cow must never be slaughtered. So going by your facile logic, Gandhiji would be a member of the BJP.
I do not know why you are getting Gandhi.
Because Gandhiji is the one who asked for the cow.
About 5 inches.
But he was talking about Hindus and their sentiment, not about the BJP.
Gandhiji talked of peace. RSS does not.
Gandhiji also talked about cow and cow slaughter. Whether you like it or not, you might want to ignore it, but it's a fact. The first person who asked for cow slaughter to be banned in the country was Mahatma Gandhi himself. But let me bring in Tushar Gupta. Tushar Gupta, do you think that this is prompted because of links made with the BJP and the fascist government in India? Where does a cow fit into all this?
Good evening, Padmaja. Good evening, Padmaja. You know, Padmaja, people like Vivek Srivastava are so frustrated
in their hatred of the government that they are okay with innocent people being attacked in a different country just because it suits their political narrative. It's always sickening to hear people like Vivek Srivastava. I'm sorry. But you know, Padmaja, in the 90s, early 90s, in West Bromwich, a Shri Krishna Mandir was burned down by the same arsonists who today are calling out Hindus celebrating their festivals as cowpiss drinkers. In the 90s, there was no BJP in the center then. There was no Narendra Modi. So Vivek Srivastava's argument of something happening post 2014 is absolutely bogus. On the day of Ganesh Chaturthi, Padmaja, just a few days back, there were stones and eggs thrown in the houses of the people who were celebrating the festival, just as they were getting ready for the Visarjan. Eggs thrown in there. Tell me, what do women celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi have to do with the RSS or the BJP? I understand you do not like the government. I understand you do not like the Prime Minister. But how can you justify in your political hatred an attack of eggs and other things on a house that is celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi with children there? You know, Padmaja, I've spoken to some people in Leicester and Birmingham. You know what they're telling me? This year, the parents are actually worried for their children to go out in the traditional way because they fear they might be attacked. Another video surfaced a few days ago where a girl which was dressed up for Navratri celebrations was being chased by one of these arsonists and he was calling out her to be a Hindutvavadi. What does a girl dressed for Navratri celebrations have to do with the RSS or the BJP? In this India or in this world, are we saying that if today I were to go out on the streets with a bag of crackers, wearing a nice kurta, holding a couple of diyas and some sweets, I would be branded as a fascist, as a worker of the RSS and not a Hindu first? When did becoming a Hindu and proud Indian overseas become all about RSS and the BJP? This is what people like Vivek Srivastava do. They do not acknowledge the racism, the Hindu phobia that is rampant over there. Instead, they make a foolish political argument that suits their political narrative.
What is the cause of the racism? No, what is the cause of the racism? Can you tell me the cause of the racism?
What is the problem with racism? Are you asking what is the
communal government running this country?
What is the problem with Hindu phobia?
No, what is the cause of the racism?
The cause is Hinduphobia too. How many times does one have to repeat it?
Have to do with the government.
You take somebody's symbol, you demonize it, you mock it, you basically turn it into an abuse. That is unbridled Hinduphobia. What can't you see? If somebody is called a cow shit eater, what do you think is the cause? The cause is they hate your religion.
No, Hindu phobia is wrong, Islamophobia is also wrong, all phobias are wrong. We are condemning all the phobias.
Sir, you don't even recognize it as Hindu phobia, you just attributed it to the Modi government. That is how ridiculous your reasoning is. You say, oh, Hindu phobia is wrong, but this is not Hindu phobia, this is a reaction to what Mr. Modi is doing in India. What on earth does it have to do with Modi at all? Let me actually, what do those poor girls who are dancing the Garba, for heaven's sake, they're not even adults, they are little children, they are dancing the Garba, they are being abused by some random guy who are saying these bloody Indians, these cowpiss drinkers, they are little girls.
That's wrong.
You know, Padmaja,
they are the face of fascist lobbies India, according to you.
Padmaja, may I?
Everybody is condemning it.
Padmaja, may I? You know what people like Vivek Srivastava are implying? You know what people like Vivek Srivastava are implying? That if you do not like the government of India, it's okay to attack innocent Hindus anywhere in the world, just attribute it to the government in India. That is what this man is implying here. That's how ridiculous his line of reasoning is, and it must be called out.
I condemned the attacks.
Sir, just a second. Okay, when you say you condemn, we've had a national newspaper, a very famous columnist here, Vikraman, and in other very reputed publications where people have written things like Hindu nationalist ideology has begun to rear its head in the UK. In November 2019, British Hindus were targeted with WhatsApp messages which included videos by far-right anti-Muslim activists. So, the Hindus are targeted by far-right Muslim activists, but it's important to mention that that is because Hindu nationalism has started raising its head. Vikraman. I mean, what is Hindu nationalism? That you are practicing your faith.
If you give me, No, if you give me 30 seconds uninterrupted, I can explain what is RSS's Hindu nationalism. What do they mean?
What does it have to do with the attack on the temple, sir? It is not about your hypothesis on the RSS's Hindu nationalism. I want to know what does it have to do with what happened to these people in the UK?
It is not the hypothesis I'm talking about. In 2014, wait.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what I'm coming to it. In 2014, the RSS's London version, which is HSS, Hindutva Swayam Sevak Sangh, has been conducting, sakas with London children of Indian origin, the Hindu children. They have been teaching the children, saying that Islam is very dangerous, worst religion. That is what they have been saying. And also, I would want to remind you that before Narendra Modi taking the post of Prime Ministership, he has been banned from entering the countries like UK and US. Now, after the Brexit, 2019 Brexit, the Britain doesn't have any other option to have a tie-up with India. That is why they are trying to cozy up with India. India as in the BJP and the Sangh Parivar in India. They are trying
what
to
does it have to do with people being attacked in their place of worship,
sir? They are blaming it on the Islamist elements.
What does it have to do with people being attacked in their place of worship? First of all, if the HSS is holding shakas, that
RSS
is
from
not
London and Birmingham. I'm telling you. RSS volunteers from London and Birmingham have been travelling to Leicester, and they are creating communal tension between Hindu and Muslims. They are ready to throw Hindus under the bus.
Do you have evidence of this? Because Mr. Vikraman has been travelling to Leicester. Since you are actually physically there, can you please tell us if there is any evidence of how the RSS is holding shakas where they are creating communal tensions, resulting in an attack on temples?
Well, I'm not sure what evidence there is there. At the moment, we know that the RSS is not a proscribed group, a terrorist group here in the UK. I know it's not prescribed anywhere else around the world. So the assertion that it poses a similar threat to Islamist terrorism, for example, is very tenuous. In regards to, I think one of your panelists mentioned Brexit as one of the reasons that this seems to be inflaming. Well, this is incorrect, because we know that many ethnic minorities actually voted for Brexit, and this has now strengthened our ability to trade with countries such as India, such as Pakistan, and we don't actually have that. And I think another one of your panelists made the assertion that whilst he condemned the attacks on Hindus, he added a but. There is no but after attacking a Hindu. Any attacks against Hindus must be condemned, and that's it. There's no reason why anyone should be attacking anyone. And if you start to justify it, then you're basically excusing those attackers and giving them reasons to continue to do this, because they know that they're going to then be absolved of their crimes when people are adding the but to it. So I think that's actually shameful from one of your panelists.
Mr. Vikraman, so unfortunately your intelligence gathered over extensive travels to Leicester is incorrect. Your whole assertion of RSS is inflaming passion.
Your intelligence and your extensive travel is only correct.
Well, I'm not travelling.
So I come to know that Padmaja travels to Leicester every single day.
I haven't travelled at all. I'm too poor to afford to travel there. Mr. Vasik is actually there. He's sitting in the UK. And he is telling you, as a counter-extremism analyst, that your analysis is wrong.
There. We also have sources there.
Oh, you have sources.
We also have sources there, like you have.
Well, your sources should be corrected.
Because let me actually hold on a second. Parliament who has been given Padma Shri by the Indian government,
I regret
and
to
that
say are
person
misleading you. Your sources regrettably may be misleading you, because I want to quote to you from a police report that again has been filed from in UK and is not sourced.
We are worried about the Hindus
one of the boys who was shamefully attacked in one of those racist
under the bus for their own benefit.
In one of those racist tirades, let me read out to you what one of the police complaints says. It's in black and white. This boy says, a group photo of me and my friends was spread online via social media, especially TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. On the photo, there was a caption to say, these are troublemakers linked to RSS, BJP. I am not linked to these things. I don't know what they are. Various posts encourage Muslim youth to attack us. Some of my buddies have been stabbed, so I'm really worried for me and my family's safety. I can't go to my job or go to my local area. I just want to go home in safety. This boy, who's a Patel Hindu boy, says, when I go out on the road, there are men in hoodies asking me, are you Hindu or Muslim? And he can't even step out and go to his job, sir. And you are talking about how Hindutva has inflamed passions?
Try to understand what I'm saying.
I am understanding, sir. But you perhaps cannot comprehend what I'm reading out to you in first person of people who are affected, of analysts who are seeing what's playing out in the UK. Let me bring in Anirban Banerjee. You've heard the complaints happening firsthand. There is no evidence to suggest that this was in reaction to something. Look at this video again. Let me just play out for you just 10 seconds of this. There is a man who actually, in the face of this disgusting abuse, comes by, does this, and is gesturing to people to calm down. Look at the kind of invective he is met with. Listen to this again.
You piss-stinky bastards! Modi di Modi di Modi di you piss-stinky you dirty piss-stinky This ain't Leicester, you cuz this is Brompton fighting you dirty piss-stinky go eat some cow. Hey, you look shook. You look shook. Hey, you look shook. Hey, go drink some cow.
Walking across, he is only with folded hands telling people to calm down. Anirban Banerjee. How did he invite this vile attack on himself?
Okay, so who is this Modi that is being referred to? It's surely not Lalit Modi or Nirav Modi. It must be the divider-in-chief as known in the international quarters that is being referred to. Now you want us to believe that a handful of people who will sing to their fascist master's tune and then claim that we have no connection whatever to our masters, and you want us to believe that. In fact, in the last program, I think, with you on this
what
same
evidence do you have that they are in fact connected to Mr. Modi or the BJP or RSS? Since you make this with such confidence, what evidence do you have that they are connected?
What evidence do you have that this particular video or whatever videos you are shooting has not been shot by Mr. Tuhin Gupta here?
He's Tushar Gupta, but anyway. Vasik, since you are actually analyzing all these videos, now the next spin is that this is perhaps propaganda material that is shot by the Hindus themselves and circulated. What is your analysis of this latest very deeply thought out analysis?
You are procuring these videos.
So you are absolutely
right.
right.
What is the source?
After giving it deep thought, you have come up with a very plausible explanation. Let Vasik explain it. Go on.
Yeah, well, I think it's ridiculous. I don't know why any community would want to self-harm themselves and make themselves out to look like victims. We know what we can see quite clearly. We've seen that there's been a number of arrests that have taken place as a result of these sorts of...
You are confusing Hindus.
You have to let me finish making my point, please, and then you can come back to it.
Whether you are willfully doing that or ignorantly, I do not know.
Okay, let him finish, please. Go on, Vasik.
And Hindus are not the same.
So I think it's ridiculous, and whether they're shouting Modi, whether they're shouting BJP, RSS, by discounting what's actually happening to the victims, you are nothing more than prioritizing the rights of the perpetrators over the victims. And it's quite clear as day that you've got police there protecting the victims of this crime. So the idea that this is them doing it by themselves, or that someone else should be blamed for why these Islamists are doing it, is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm just going to leave it at that. The reason that we are playing out each of these pieces of evidence, because this is bang in the middle of festival season. Imagine if you were physically scared to celebrate your festival because there's a bunch of people who would use only your celebration as an excuse to physically attack you, how would you feel? And then how would you feel if you're actually blamed for catalyzing that attack? That's the story of these people we are showing you in these videos from the UK. Don't let people put a spin on it. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, for having joined us. It's a story that puts a dark shadow over the festive season in India. While the entire country celebrating Navratras and Garba, Dandiya programs are organized to add color to the festivities, here's what happened in Ahmedabad, Indore and Akola. Across 3 states, Muslim men were beaten for participating in a Garba program. In Ahmedabad, a man named Salman was dragged out and beaten by members of the Bajrang Dal, allegedly because he entered on a fake identity. Along with him, 3 others were also identified and removed in what was called a spot check by the Bajrang Dal.
नाम हुआ बोल सलमान શું કરવાય वो तो एक मिनट रुको जो શું કરવા જોવાય वो तो મારી માં બેન ને જોવાય वो तो नाम हुआ बोल सलमान શું કરવાય वो तो एक मिनट रुको जो શું કરવા જોવાય वो तो મારી માં બેન ને જોવાય वो तो
The unfortunate story was repeated in Indore and Akola as well. In Indore, 7 people were arrested for filming women as they danced the Garba. The allegation was that they lied about their identity. The Bajrang Dal said that these men entered the pandal on a mission to lure and convert. In Akola, 4 men were arrested but not before being slapped in the presence of the police. The question is, how is moral policing being allowed in the garb of a spot check? And is love jihad paranoia clouding festivities that should be about communal harmony?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Haziq Khan, Islamic scholar, political analyst Vivek Srivastava continues with us. We are joined by National Spokesperson VHP, Vijay Shankar Tiwari, Naveen Chomal, lawyer. I'll start with you, Mr. Chomal, because you're a lawyer. How is this okay? How can men be beaten up, Mr. Chomal, only for attending Garba?
Padmaja, there is much more than what meets the eye. This is not the simple case of going to discotheque on your own will. Now, first of all, the spirit of Garba is something that you are worshipping Devi Ma and reveling before her. So for Muslims, it is actually a Murti Puja. It's a kufra for them. So what business do they have to come over there? Unless they are sneaking in with false identities for sinister motives. That is love jihad. And love jihad is not a simple thing which we can say to be love between 2 persons. Muslim boys are funded and helped through masjids. They are guided how to trap a Hindu girl.
What is your evidence for that?
Boys goes and informs in the masjid.
What is your evidence, sir? I have 2 questions for you. First of all, what is your evidence? And second, can you stop anyone from participating in a community event? Is there any law that stops a Muslim man from participating in a Garba?
Befriend Hindu girls. They get a chance to come closer to them, trap them, and then slowly convert them into Hinduism.
Sir, what is the evidence based on which you are making this claim? You could just be there. Mr. Chomal, hold on a second. I'm asking you, what is the evidence for making this claim? They could just be there for dancing the Garba. People go to church to sing Christmas carols on Christmas Eve. Not because they want to convert Christian girls. It's just because they want to sing Christmas carols.
Are you not aware of these activities going on all over India? In fact, Justice R. Basant of Kerala High Court, when he was a sitting judge over there, he had exposed this thing and asked the intelligence agencies, RAW and IB.
Sir, what is the evidence in the present case that there is some nefarious love jihad plot going on? Maybe they are just there to dance.
So, please. So, okay, 7 boys entered in Indore. They came with a false identity. What business did they have to come with a false identity? And how come Muslims are worshipping Devi Ma?
Okay, Haziq Khan, ये जवाब दीजिए कि सस्पिशन इस बात का है कि फॉल्स आइडेंटिटी पे आए थे, इसलिए नवीन चोमल कन्विंस्ड है कि कुछ उनका इरादा गलत था.
देखिए मैडम, बात यह है कि हमारे हिंदू मज़हब के एतबार से गरबा मनाया जा रहा है। अगर हमारे हिंदू भाई नहीं चाहते हैं कि उसमें कोई मुस्लिम आए तो किसी मुसलमान को उसमें नहीं जाना चाहिए, सबसे पहली बात तो ये। और जाए तो वो अपना जो अपनी प्रमाण पत्र दिखा रहा है, जो अपनी आईडी प्रूफ दिखा रहा है, उसे जायज़ आईडी प्रूफ दिखाना चाहिए, उसे फेक नहीं बनाना चाहिए। रही हमारी बात यह कि हमारे मुल्क में 75 साल से हिंदुस्तान में गरबा भी हो रहा है, रामलीला भी हो रही हैं, और तमाम जुलूसों में हम जब स्टूडेंट लाइफ में थे तो हमारे दोस्त जो रामलीला कमेटी के अध्यक्ष हुआ करते थे, हम उनके साथ उस कमेटी के इंतजाम में रहते थे। और फिरोजाबाद की रामलीला कमेटी जो है, मिर्जा खैराती बेग ने 100 बीघे या 150 बीघे ज़मीन दी है, एसआर के डिग्री कॉलेज को, इंटर कॉलेज को दी है। और ये जो रामगढ़ी में जो रामगढ़ी मंदिर है अयोध्या में, ये भी नवाब लखनऊ ने दी है। तो ये हमारे देश की गंगा जमनी तहजीब के एतबार से हमारे यहाँ फिरोजाबाद में।
विजय शंकर तिवारी,
एक मिनट
जब रामलीला कमेटी का सब हिस्सा हो सकते हैं तो गरबा में सब हिस्सा क्यों नहीं ले सकते?
हाँ पद्मजा, बहुत अच्छी बात पूछी आपने। पद्मजा, रामलीला जो होती हैं वो सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम है और गरबा जो है वो धार्मिक कार्यक्रम है। एक बात तो ध्यान करने वाली है। मैं एक बात आपको बताता हूं, 1 अप्रैल 2018 जो अपना देवबंद दारुल उलूम है, देश में बड़ा मान्य संस्थान है मुसलमानों का, उसके शहर काजी अजहर हुसैन ने एक फतवा जारी किया कि इस्लाम में आपका संगीत और नृत्य जो है ये जायज नहीं है, ये हराम है। जब वो हराम है और जब ये तिरंगा के सामने इसलिए नहीं झुकते क्योंकि इनके यहाँ हराम है, ये सूर्य नमस्कार इसलिए नहीं करते क्योंकि इनके यहाँ हराम है, जय श्री राम इसलिए नहीं बोलते क्योंकि ये हराम है। और जो चीजें हराम हैं, और जब आप गरबा में जाते हैं तो गरबा में ये राधा कृष्ण का भजन होता है, राधा कृष्ण के गीत होते हैं, और गरबा में वहां पर जो लोग गरबा कर रहे होते हैं झुक करके ये नृत्य करते हैं, तो इनके लिए जायज कैसे हो गया? अभी कुछ दिन पहले, 2-4 दिन पहले एक इसी प्रकार की डिबेट में मैं था और गरबा का विषय था। उसमें स्पष्ट बताया गया था कि जिनकी आस्था नहीं है गरबा में, उनको अंदर आना मना है और पहचान पत्र देखा जाएगा, पहले से कहा गया था। तो आखिर ये लोग पहचान छुपा कर अंदर क्यों घुसे? इनकी आस्था नहीं है इसलिए क्यों घुसे? और हमारे साहब कह रहे थे कि गंगा जमनी तहजीब और हमने ये दिया, हमने वो दिया।
देखिए विजय शंकर तिवारी जी,
मैं ये कह रहा हूं,
सुनिए विजय शंकर जी, सुनिए।
ठीक कह रहे हैं, लेकिन
नहीं, विजय शंकर जी का बस चले तो इस देश में वैलेंटाइन डे भी ना मने। विजय शंकर जी की का तो एक अलग एजेंडा है। आवाज ये यहाँ हल्ला मचाना शुरू कर देते हैं इस देश में, रिएक्शन यूनाइटेड किंगडम में हो जाता है। यहाँ चोमल साहब देखिए क्या क्या बोल रहे थे, रिएक्शन हुआ यूनाइटेड किंगडम में।
इट इज अ गुड पॉइंट दैट यू आर रेजिंग सिंस यू आर अटैकिंग द वीएचपी, बट लेट मी आल्सो रिमाइंड यू दैट वैलेंटाइन डे तो कोई हाजिक खान साहब भी कोई उसको बहुत एनकरेज नहीं करेंगे। सो लेट्स जस्ट कीप दैट क्लियर, बट गो ऑन।
नहीं, कोई भी करे ना करे साहब, मैं स्ट्रांगली आई स्टैंड फॉर इंटर रिलीजियस इंटरकास्ट मैरिजेस। इट इज द फ्रीडम ऑफ चॉइस गिवन टू एनी गर्ल टू डिसाइड whom she wants to have a relationship with.
But Vijay Shankar Tiwari is making another point. He is saying that there is a malified intent because what?
चोमल साहब और तिवारी साहब को कोई अधिकार नहीं है बोलने का कि मुस्लिम लड़के आ गए और हिंदू लड़की को पटा लिया, और भाई वो उनका फ्रीडम ऑफ चॉइस है। अगर एक हिंदू लड़की एक मुस्लिम लड़के को लाइक करती है या वाइस वर्सा होता है, इसमें चोमल साहब
फ्रीडम ऑफ चॉइस, विजय शंकर तिवारी उनको जवाब देने दीजिए, फिर आपके पास आऊंगी हार्दिक खान। फ्रीडम ऑफ चॉइस है विजय शंकर तिवारी।
हाँ जी, एक मिनट। देखो ऐसा है, विवेक श्रीवास्तव वामपंथी हैं, कम्युनिस्ट हैं, और ये क्या कहते हैं, क्या सुनते हैं, इनकी क्या सोच है, सबको पता है। विवेक श्रीवास्तव ये कह रहे हैं मुझे अपनी बहन को बचाने की हमें कोई अधिकार नहीं है, हमें अपनी मां बहन की इज्जत बचाने का हमें कोई अधिकार नहीं है। विवेक श्रीवास्तव, आप देश की मां बहनों को मां बहन नहीं मानते, लेकिन हम देश की हर मां बहन को अपनी मां बहन मानते हैं। इसलिए उनकी रक्षा करना, उनकी रक्षा करना, उनको कटकर बक्से में छुपाना, उनकी हत्या करना, उनको जलाना, ये सबसे बड़ा खतरा, ये हम अपनी मां बहनों के साथ नहीं होने देंगे। विवेक श्रीवास्तव,
सबसे बड़ा खतरा आप लोगों की विचारधारा से जो जाति और धर्म के आधार पर देश को तोड़ रही है।
एक सेकंड, सवाल ये है कि आपको जिहादियों ये माना जाए, होल्ड ऑन अ सेकंड,
जिहादियों का
नहीं, एक सेकंड,
आप उनकी बोलेंगे।
विजय शंकर जी, लेट मी आस्क यू अ वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन विच इज अ लीगल क्वेश्चन। आप किसी को बचाने की जरूरत नहीं है। अगर कोई महिला खुद अपने दोस्त के साथ जाना चाहती है गरबे में, ठीक है, आइडेंटिटी छुपानी नहीं चाहिए, ये बात मैं आपकी मानती हूं, बट दैट बीइंग सेड, किसी भी एरिया को कहना कि यहां सिर्फ एक ही धर्म के लोग आएंगे, बाकी धर्म के लोग नहीं आएंगे, ये लीगल कैसे हो सकता है? भाई किसी महिला का ये मन है ना कि भाई आई विल गो विद माय फ्रेंड गरबा के लिए, और वो हिंदू हो सकता है, मुस्लिम हो सकता है, क्रिश्चियन हो सकता है, सिख हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है।
एक मिनट, पद्मजा, हाँ पद्मजा, अगर आपकी आस्था किसी धर्म में नहीं है और आपके यहाँ फतवा जारी होते हैं, आपके धर्म में कहा जाता है कि आपको झुकना मना है, आप झुकेंगे नहीं, आप नृत्य नहीं करेंगे,
थोड़ी ना
क्या करने जाएंगे? क्या करने जाएंगे?
क्या फतवे को सब मानते हैं? मैं ये पूछ रहा हूं आपसे। ये एक मॉडर्न
देश होता है ना, आप तो मानते हैं ना। अरे साहब, विवेक जी कोई नहीं मानता, आप तो मानते हैं ना फतवा।
देयर आर सो
विवेक जी, आप तो फतवा मानते हैं ना।
सिटी हु आर मुस्लिम गर्ल्स एंड दे आर प्रोग्रेसिव एंड दे डोंट बिलीव इन दिस फतवास। तो आप कहां हैं? ये 2022 चल रहा है। मैं इसी फिल्म सिटी की बात कर रहा हूं।
विवेक जी, हाँ बिल्कुल, अब सुनिए, अब बताइए, जब नूपुर शर्मा का गला काटने का फतवा जारी हुआ, तब आप उनका समर्थन कर रहे थे। उस समय तो आप फतवा मान रहे थे, आज तो फतवा नहीं मान रहे। जब नूपुर शर्मा का गला काटने का फतवा हुआ था, तो विवेक शर्मा आप फतवे के पक्ष में खड़े थे, तब फतवा कहां गया था? तब फतवा मान रहे थे ना, तब तो उनके साथ खड़े थे फतवा वालों के बाद। आज फतवा माने नहीं है।
Okay, I'm going to have to wrap it up over here. See, the thing is very simple, that we have a long season of festivities. This is the time for there to be celebration, not to have a cloud like this over the celebrations, especially when it comes to a communal theme like this. If people can actually celebrate together, that is the essence of our country and of our festivities. Let's hope better sense prevails. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, for joining me.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break. You're watching the News Hour at 10. The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
Construction.
Hour at 10.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Surat, kick-starting his two-day visit to his home state Gujarat. He is inaugurating developmental projects worth 29,000 crore. Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh visited the forward areas in Dibang Valley of Arunachal Pradesh and interacted with the troops deployed there. Gehlot camp launches an attack on pilot camps as pilot supporter and MLA Ved Prakash Solanki met BJP Satish Punia a day before Zilla Parishad elections.
The most pressing issues, the most informed minds, free and fair exchange. Converse India with Rahul Shivshankar.
आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में।
नहीं हेमा कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए जी
कल रात की सावन का देंगे। ऑल्सो बिकम सांसद बनना चाहेंगे उसको तो आप बनने नहीं देंगे। आप दिमाग में सबको ऐसा डाल के रखेंगे फिल्म स्टार ही बनेगा। आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में।
नहीं हेमा कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए जी
कल रात की सावन का देंगे। ऑल्सो बिकम
बहुत अच्छी बात है। आपका क्या विचार है इस बार? आप
मेरा विचार क्या मैं बताऊं? मेरा विचार भगवान के ऊपर है। लॉर्ड कृष्णा विल डू इट।
मैं तो देश की सेवा के लिए ही पैदा हुई हूँ और मैं देश की सेवा करना चाहती हूँ और क्यों नहीं हमारे मोदी साहब हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी चाय बनाते बनाते प्रधानमंत्री जी पीएम बन सकते हैं तो मैं बॉलीवुड में काम करते करते सीएम क्यों नहीं बन सकती हूँ? डेफिनेटली मैं बनूंगी। आप सबका आशीर्वाद चाहिए। तो 2024 में अब आप मुझे चुनाव लड़ते हुए देखेंगे किसके अपोजिट। ये सरप्राइज है।
these were the Hawala route transactions that is being set through dubious NRI accounts, how the UPG is sending money back home so that they can be used as secret donations. Now, what exactly were these secret donations? Let's show another round of graphics, tell you exactly how this modus operandi also worked. This is when it comes to the PFI functionaries there, how they were based abroad, how exactly when it comes to their Hawala transactions and routes, how the money was misused and how it was brought back home in a way to use it as a hate propaganda against the vulnerable youth. We have also seen that when it comes to the indoctrination, several incriminating materials that has also been recovered.
Big revelations have come in from the FIRs that NI has registered in the PFI case. It goes on to show PFI's link with Al-Qaeda and foreign entities from Afghanistan as well as Saudi Arabia, how youth used to be radicalized and then sent to Afghanistan for terrorist training. Now these FIRs that time now has access shows that how physical camps used to be organized by PFI in the name of karate camps, karate school, and through these they used to be provoked with hate speeches, and by imparting this information about the alleged violence against Muslims in Jammu and Kashmir, and after radicalizing them they used to be sent to Khorasan province of Afghanistan, where they used to be given terrorist training there.
A day after Union Home Ministry banned Popular Front of India for 5 years, Twitter withheld official accounts of organization that has over 80,000 followers. An inquiry has been ordered by Education Department in Karnataka's Gadag district against the principal of a government school for allegedly holding an essay competition on Prophet Muhammad in the school premises. A 21-year-old woman was shot dead by her alleged boyfriend in Palghar district in Maharashtra. Suspect then tried to kill himself as well by jumping in front of a truck. He's been hospitalized and has succumbed to his injuries. Military Engineer Services have constructed a first 3D printed runway controller hut at Pune Air Force Station in 30 days. The novel construction includes a 3D printed concrete foundation using precast technology. A day after Union Home Ministry banned Popular Front of India for 5 years, Twitter withheld official accounts of organization that has over 80,000 followers. An inquiry has been ordered by Education Department in Karnataka's Gadag district against the principal of a government school for allegedly holding an essay competition on Prophet Muhammad in the school premises. A 21-year-old woman was shot dead by her alleged boyfriend in Palghar district in Maharashtra. Suspect then tried to kill himself as well by jumping in front of a truck. He's been hospitalized and has succumbed to his injuries. Military Engineer Services have constructed a first 3D printed runway controller hut at Pune Air Force Station in 30 days. The novel construction includes a 3D printed concrete foundation using precast technology.
Your channel, your voice has won your trust because of its unimpeachable integrity. We wouldn't be the most watched, the most influential TV channel without your viewership. Times Now's team prides itself in being the most hardworking, the most conscientious, the most uninfluenced. Our only motivation is to put viewer and national interests first, and we have done so every single day of our existence. Unfortunately, our existence, our persistence has won us some enemies who want to discredit our fair name and who are allied with powerful forces to deal a mortal blow to us, to Times Now, to our family. We have gone through a torrid time in fighting the forces of manipulation, avarice, and most importantly, disinformation. Today, another channel that is trying desperately to redeem its tattered viewers, tattered reputation is claiming that Times Now has manipulated ratings. It is relying on an ED chart sheet that actually makes no such claim in black and white. The ED report cannot make this claim because the ED knows that it is simply not borne out by any facts. Only those with a malicious intent are trying to attribute motives to the open-ended words of the Enforcement Directorate. The ED, of course, viewers, is a central investigative agency and has insinuated itself into the TRP fixing case brought against certain players in Maharashtra, even though it is primarily concerned with offences related to money laundering. Of course, the TRP fixing case is also being investigated by the Mumbai police, which makes the ED presence that much more questionable. Anyway, Viewers, back to the main story and the purpose of this broadcast. Over the next few hours, we at Times Now. Who is the we? The view, the we, the you, all of us viewers are the family of Times Now. And today we are not running away from you. We are right here to tell you that the record has been manipulated, and we will set this record straight. And who am I talking about? There is Navika Kumar right next to me. As always, viewers, we are the team which always is out there bringing to you the news. We put our credibility on the line. Navika Kumar, who is the group editor of the network. We have with us the MD and the CEO of the network, Mr. M.K. Anand, who is being slandered today, viewers, for doing what? An honest job. We have Nikunj Garg, the managing editor of Times Now, Mirror Now. He looks after every reporting input that flows into this channel and ensures that nothing tainted goes out on air. I don't need to introduce this family to you, viewers. We are there every day before you, and we are not running away. So anyone who thinks that they can ambush us with some silly little WhatsApp and say, what have you got to say? They better watch out, because today they will have to answer. This team will call out the mischief, the slanderous, patently false propaganda that is being disseminated to malign your channels, your favorite channel's image, by misrepresenting the ED chart sheet and burying crucial facts. Viewers, I'm going to show you. Our video journalist is going to focus on some documents today. Documents that have not been put out. They have been suppressed. Why have they been suppressed? Because, viewers, they will prevent all those who are maligning Times Now from doing what they are doing. They are a check and a balance. We've earned this clean chit that I'm going to show you, viewers. First item we want to show you is our response to BARC on a show cause issued to us on 13 December 2017. Mark, viewers, the date. In its letter, and it's on your screens, and it's in my hand, right here. In its letter, BARC refers to two things: an unusual spike in Times Now ratings, the existence of 3 videos. Times Now replied in detail to the BARC show cause. Here is the excerpt of the letter. We said, first, that the spike in ratings is not abnormal. And I will get you Mr. M.K. Anand's view on this. As far as the spike shown, this is what we have said, and it's written there. As far as the spike shown in ratings on certain days in certain markets is concerned, we've already clarified the reasons for the same in our meetings. Meetings, viewers, we went because they asked us. We presented ourselves. We weren't running away from anything. We went to their office and we told them the following. We told them that most of the purported abnormalities can be explained by the use of landing pages in such markets, and considering that landing pages are the major marketing boost, they cannot really be referred to as abnormal in the real sense. That was the first of our responses. Now, Mr. M.K. Anand, let me ask you this question. You're an industry veteran. You have led many channels to that numero uno spot in your career. I want to first ask you, these abnormal spikes that the BARC was referring to, are they normal in course? Do they happen?
First of all, these are not abnormal at all. If you promote a product, I mean any product for instance, I mean if you were to sell soap and then you have a marketing campaign, during that period the offtake of that soap goes up. I mean that is common knowledge. Everybody who's into any business, I mean even if you're a small business owner or if you're a big FMCG company or a newspaper or a news channel, landing pages is like taking a prized position on the shelf of a shop. So if you put say a toothpaste on the top shelf, it gets picked up more. So in that period, we had promoted Times Now, and we continue to sort of use landing pages as an effective marketing tool because it is perfectly legal. And
are we the only ones using it?
It's used by everybody before us and after us, and continues to be used by all broadcasters because it is a perfectly legal manner in which viewership is promoted. It is a way by which more viewers stumble onto the channel, like something, and then they stay there.
Now let me tell you, the Enforcement Directorate has said that we used, in the period when this spike was happening, 18 to 20 landing pages, and Republic was on 10 of them. 10 of them, viewers. It's all in the report. The report is here. So, if we were using landing pages and Republic was using landing pages, of course Republic talks about money power constantly, this, that, the other, when they do all of this. Now I want to ask you a more personal question, Mr. Anand, because a certain anchor constantly talks about money power, purchasing power, how that gives an advantage, landing pages are, this, that, the other. When that same individual was working here, was this channel on landing pages from time to time?
We've been using promotions of various natures, whether it is landing pages or marketing or, it's calling money power out is like saying that, if a company has a lot of money, it pays its editors a higher salary. I mean, we wouldn't be able to pay such an anchor, such top anchors, if we did not have money power. It's business. It's nothing to do with money power. Successful companies are able to corner better resources, and those resources are put in the service of putting better products, because the Indian consumer demands and deserves products of global standard, and when that happens, we should not flinch in putting money into the product. Instead of sort of taking that money back as profits, we have put that money into the product. I mean, what is wrong in that? We are in the service of the consumer.
Viewers, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Those that are today preaching were converted a long time back. They're duplicitous. They lie. Times Now doesn't. We don't hide. We never have. We never will. As I said, viewers, to you in the very beginning of this broadcast, and I'm going to say it again, that conviction comes with honesty. If you have nothing to hide, you will speak with honesty. And that's why you watch us. And I'll come to those numbers also in a short while, viewers. Let's have it out tonight. You and I, all of us, let's have it out. Videos, malicious creation. This was our response. About the videos, we have clarified that we neither have any knowledge nor any involvement in any such unscrupulous activity. In fact, this clearly points to the involvement of some malicious party entity who is trying to spoil our reputation. In the past, we have been the victim of reduced channel share and thinking that on-ground panel tampering by certain players may be the reason of the same. Have shared our concerns with your agency, where the ratings have shown abnormality, unprecedented spikes from time to time, unquote. What are you trying to say here, Mr. Anand?
See, I think, Rahul, we all know the period of 2017 when a certain new channel was launched, and with all, due respect, with a lot of fanfare and a lot of earnest effort, I'm sure. But when that channel probably thought that it could walk all over the competition, including us, and when the first week and the second week and the third week passed, and the realization dawned that things were not as easy, I think there was some desperate measures